To keep an eye on the Royals and Guardians getting together here in a little over an hour. And you also have the Rangers playing host to the Milwaukee Brewers. So a couple of teams that are hovering around the Mariners in those wild card standings in action today. Meanwhile, in the NFL, according to New York Giants head coach Brian Daboll, Russell Wilson will remain the New York Giants starting quarterback despite his performance in their 21-6 loss to Washington. Wilson went 17 of 37, 168 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, completing just 2 of 12 passes when he was under pressure for 26 yards with 2 sacks and 2 scrambles.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Monday to everybody. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. There's a lot to get into. Had the Mariners wrapping up their road trip, had the debut of the Seahawks at home against the 49ers, not going the way we had all hoped. We'll get deep into that game. We'll break it all down. Talk Mariners as well. Rowland-Smith will join us at 3 p.m. for his weekly conversation. We'll catch up with Charles Cross of your Seattle Seahawks. That'll come up at 3:30. Got the Mike Macdonald press conference. We'll join at 4 p.m. And then Jon Morosi at 5 o'clock to talk some baseball with him. And then we'll turn you over to the Mariners pregame show at 5:30. So a packed show coming your way. You guys can text in 866-979-3776. Weigh in on the Seahawks, weigh in on the Mariners, whatever's on your mind. But, Dave, game one in the books. And the area of the team we were most curious about was the offense.
Yeah.
What was your takeaway from week one as it pertains to the offense?
It was just, I thought it was going to be closer to what it looked like against Kansas City with being able to run the ball. But, we also knew that going in that nobody was going to surprise one another. I mean, these are two very familiar teams as far as coaches and play calling and everything. And, I was obviously disappointed. The Mariners scored more than the Seahawks did yesterday. So, that part of it was just, I don't feel like, oh, man, they need to go get some players. It's not anything like that. It just, to me, is more that I expected more. And, that they were going to, start slow offensively. And it's kind of what they did, defensively the first 3 games last year. And that's where a lot of the change took place was, were really good. But then they went on a, 9-game streak there, or 6-game streak, where they were just terrible. They were giving up, 380 to 400 yards. And so, I thought the offense would start a little bit faster. And obviously you and I talked about that during the offseason, and it just didn't. It was just kind of a rough go. And I was disappointed that they only ran for 84 yards. I thought that they would be able to get the run game going a little bit better than that.
Yeah, Mike Macdonald after the game was asked his thoughts on the offense.
Yeah, we're hot and cold. We gotta maintain the ball better. We need to be more efficient on early downs, convert more on third down. Good 2-minute at the end. Some good stuff, but yeah, we gotta operate a little more efficiently and be better on first, second down to give us some third downs where we can convert and keep drives going.
Yeah, 3 for 10 on third down.
Yeah, it wasn't awesome. It was. It seemed awfully conservative to me, and I don't know if that's, hey, let's just kind of dip our toe in the water and get our feet wet here. It just seemed like the play calling was very safe for the most part.
Yeah.
You had a couple shots here and there, but overall it seemed really conservative to me. And I don't know if that's a result of, the lack of experience together in the preseason. They had, 1 drive together in the whole preseason, the starters. Yeah. So, I know there's practice and all of that. You had the practice with the Packers, but I don't know, probably hard to duplicate actual game action out there. And I think some of that showed to me.
Yeah, they ran it 26 times, threw it 23 times. So, and then there was the one series where I thought I thought I heard some boos. I heard some boos where they did the one play, the very first play was that screen that they tried to set up over on the 49er sideline, and there was like 6 defenders over there. Like they knew that was coming.
Yeah.
And then, I can't remember the play that they ran in between, but then they tried the play that they ran last year against Detroit and against LA where they threw JSN the ball, and then he tried to throw it back to Charbonnet.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that was on 3rd down, and I think that's when everybody started booing, and so it was kind of a weird
Couldn't hear that in the press box.
Yeah,
I didn't know they were booing. It's quiet up there.
Yeah, it just a few. I mean, it wasn't like an overwhelming thing, but I thought that was a 3 and out, and so I thought people maybe thought that he was trying to get too fancy there, but. Other than that, yeah, pretty conservative. I mean, a couple of really nice passes from Sam Darnold.
First one right out of the gate. First play of the game.
Out and up, and, he hit JSN. It was just perfect. And we saw Purdy, except for the one interception that he threw, which was really stupid. It really was.
Which one? The one to
the
Job?
Second one. Yeah, I mean, it went right into – there was like 4 guys in that area, and I don't know what he was doing throwing that. But, he threw – he rips the middle of the field. EJ took advantage of that, which I thought was awesome watching him because he got beat on the first drive, jumping a little bit the underneath route, and he kind of logged that and then came back, and on that play where he got the interception, he must have dropped like 20 yards deep because he knew it was coming. He did a great job of kind of learning there and logging, like I said, that play. But I mean, as far as the offense, getting back to the offense, I just they're not playing together right now, and saw a little bit from Anthony Bradford of where here's the way Ray Roberts put it this way, and we'll get to Reek Woolen as well, but it's interesting when you see a guy, and the way Ray put it was, how do you get disinterested during a fist fight? I mean, it's like, this is very intense.
That's when you get knocked out.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and it kind of looked like that a little bit with some of the blocking. But maybe that's also just that they're not sure exactly, and that's usually when you see guys play slow is when they're not sure what they're doing.
Well, that's why I kept thinking, I wonder if the lack of action in preseason hurt them. Yeah. Like it's just going to be a slow start for everything that was new. We talked about it over and over and over. Everything's new system, new coaches. You got a new quarterback, new receivers, a new piece on the O-line. So there's a lot that's new there, and having very little time together in actual action outside of practice.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the coaches look back and rethink that, or if the risk of injury is just too great and they'll just live with, all right, we're going to baby step it and we'll find our rhythm in week 3, 4, whatever. But I'm wondering if that gives the coaching staff a reason to kind of go back and revisit. All right, maybe next year our plan should be altered a bit.
Yeah. Well, and also I wonder how much of it is just the familiarity of the offense that the 49er defense has. And first of all, I was kind of going, man, they got I put little orange dots on the guys that had 3 years or less, and there was 13, 14 of them.
On the Niners?
On the Niners, on their defense. They had a couple of guys that are rookies that are starting, but you got some really good players there that are pretty familiar with this offensive scheme. So, I don't think it was the worst loss in the world. I mean, the Niners are still good. It's just kind of weird to look back at them. They were 6-11 last year, and they only had 3 guys on their defense back, but they always fill up. They do a great job with personnel because Fred Warner's a really good linebacker, but that kid Winters, number 53, he was all over the place. He looked really good, and one of their young guys, that Upton Stout kid, he's a rookie. He made a couple of plays on the ball. I mean, it was they're just it's a good program that they have. They just kind of had a little hiccup there in between going to the Super Bowl and then going 6-11.
Yeah. Well, I think if you want to look for a positive, there are a few positives. First of all, if you just look at you look at every stat. If you want to look at third down conversion, you want to look at time of possession, you want to look at total yards, look at passing yards. Seahawks got their butt kicked.
Yeah.
But they had this game in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
They were in a position to win this game if not for what happened on that final drive. So it was as maybe conservative as I feel the offense was, as little as they did. If you just look at stats, they got completely dominated, yet here they were in a position to win this game.
Yeah.
And you kicked it. because of, you had some rough plays there, and we'll get into Reek Woolen and all that. But so despite everything that wasn't electric, that wasn't explosive, that wasn't great, and basically every statistical category you want to look at, the Niners dominated them. Yet there they were. They held them to 7 points through the majority of that game until the very end. You held them to 7 points. So you were in a position to win this game. I felt like they lost more than they got beat. They beat themselves, but, we can get into that. But I didn't come out of that disheartened or like, oh, no, this is going to be bad. And we're getting some of those texts coming in. You guys can text in 866-979-3776. 206 says, look at the Saints offense last year. That's what we can expect this season from our play calling. Average play with a lack of urgency. Already you got people that are saying, Woolen's got to go. Sam Darnold's who we thought he was. He's a bust. I'm like, it's one game. And
are people really saying that he dropped the ball? Is that really the
somewhere
story?
after the game that obviously didn't see the replay.
Yeah.
Because that was the initial reaction. It's like, oh, my God, what happened? From the press box, it was impossible to see what happened. I couldn't. Yeah. We just saw everybody scramble, and then the 49ers celebrating, going, all right, what did it get knocked loose? Did he just drop it? What happened? And then you watch the replay, and you see that Abe Lucas got his tail kicked on that play.
He did.
And he got shoved right into Darnold as he's bringing the ball back, and it knocked the ball out of his hand.
Yeah, I mean, he got bench pressed.
Yeah.
And look, that doesn't happen to Abe Lucas, man. I was talking to Big Ray about that as well. The reason why is because Ray and I on game day are up till like 3 a.m. Can't go to sleep after the games. But yeah, I mean, Abe, I've seen him so many times drop his center of gravity and just absorb that bull rush. And look, you're going up against one of the best. I thought Bosa also had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder just because I was saying it. Like, he's got declining sack numbers from, 22 and a half or something when he was NFL Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
But, and I think the year before that it was 10 and a half. Last year it was 9. And, I thought he had a little bit of an attitude, but that guy's a ridiculously good pass rusher. Same thing with George Kittle. Same thing with Brock Purdy, man. They gave him that money. I wasn't entirely sure or entirely convinced that guy is worth that kind of money. He is. He's
just good.
Is.
You have to. I hate doing it.
Yeah.
Got to tip my tiny cap to him. I mean, he's a Niner, and it makes me nuts, but he's just good. Is he electric? No. Is he fast? No. Does he have a great arm? Nope. But he just makes the right calls most of the time. Yeah, he had that bad pick. Okay. But he just seems to make that play that kills you, that breaks your back. And you think you got him bottled up, and he's mobile enough to get out of there and keep the play alive. And he just seems to have timing. That's what it just seems like. His timing is just really good because he doesn't have the fastball. It's not a noodle arm, but it's not a cannon either. He's just kind of average everywhere, yet he makes it work really well for him.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. And he really understands that offense. And Kittle is a ridiculous route runner. I mean, you just totally underestimate that guy. But, I thought the two plays that really stood out to me, one good and one bad, was on their very first drive, we're off the field. It's 3rd and 9, and we get the mystery roughing the passer call
on Leonard
against Leonard Williams.
Horrible call.
I could not figure that one out. But again, I mean, you go back to like there were some penalties. I think Reek actually extended a drive that ended up resulting in a blocked field goal, right? And so you're like, okay, well that's a wash, fine. But in this case, they went down and scored, and that was the little out route that they ran to Kittle down on the 5-yard line. But we're off the field, 3rd and 9. I mean, 39-yard line, what would that be? Like 49?
What, about a 56?
Yeah, and guy doinked one off the upright, so I seriously doubt that they would try there. That one really bothered me. But on the good side was the play that Ernest Jones made that I talked about earlier, that he was able to get back in that passing lane. And like I said, he must have dropped 20 yards.
What was just a massive disparity in targets out there that I thought was interesting. I mean, it was a great day for JSN, except for a really costly fumble. That hurt. You can't have it. Love the kid. He's a brilliant player. You can't have that. But 9 catches on 13 targets, 124 yards. Nobody else had more than 3 targets.
Yeah.
And it seemed like he was locking in on JSN. that, and I don't know if that's true. That's just how it appeared from up in the press box, that that was his guy, and that's who I'm throwing it to.
Yeah.
I mean, Cooper Kupp had 2 catches on 3 targets. You had K9 out of the backfield, 3 catches for, a total of 4 yards. So, I mean, the idea that Elijah Arroyo had 1 target and A.J. Barner had 2 targets, 1 catch. I mean, just that's got to change.
Yeah, I think he kind of ran home to mama on that one. It was like, okay, I'm seeing some things maybe that I don't like. Who am I most confident in? And, because I would really like to see A.J. Barner get more involved. Same thing with Arroyo. So, but yeah, I mean, that and you look at what Brock Purdy did. I mean, he spread it around. He had Pearsall, McCaffrey, Kittle, Tongus, this kid Tongus, Kyle Juszczyk got one of his touches. I mean, that guy gets maybe 3 or I think he runs the ball like 5 times a year in his career, and and it always they throw it to him probably twice that amount. But you look at the one long, what was that, like a 25-yard throw to Kyle Juszczyk. So they spread it around, and I think I'd like to see Darnold do that a little bit more, like you said, use some of his weapons, particularly the checkdowns to the running backs. Because look, I mean, you start off, I always say this about running backs: you hand the ball off, it's in the scrum there. You got the 9-on-7 in there that's just like everything's clogged, but get him, let him put some of those moves that he's making in the box out on the perimeter, and where it's just one guy they have to beat. And yeah, we just didn't get much of that. I typically don't sit there and complain about play calling, and a lot of times it's kind of like how the game goes. But I think you have a point there, and that's probably going to be addressed during this week. That look, JSN may be your first read, but let's get to number 2 and number 3.
Text coming in, this from the 360. Everyone is going on about Reek and about the offensive play calling. I understand it, but did anyone else notice that yet again we're seeing a lack of sound tackling by the defense? There was one play where McCaffrey ran up the middle, and I remember this play. I'm glad they pointed it out. Big Cat had him from behind. Instead of wrapping him up, he hit him, shouldered him,
blaster,
and he shoved him like 4 or 5 yards further, like gave him more momentum. I'm like,
I was really surprised by that.
He of all people, like, come on, man, you know better.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And it was, so good call by the texter there. I remember that play, and I remember at that moment watching the replay going, the hell was that?
Yeah, no,
That's
same.
not a veteran play.
We talked about it. I mean, and that's just not a Leonard Williams type of play. I mean, you have to say and so if you look at that, and then you look at he got the roughing the passer. I think a lot of people on the surface would go, okay, he didn't have a very good game.
That was a bogus call.
Yeah, that was a ridiculous call. And then you could see him shake his head afterwards, like, what am I doing? Why did
after
I do
that one on McCaffrey?
After the master blaster there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not even so much that he sent him forward. It's just that he didn't bring his arms.
Yeah.
He knows better than anybody. You gotta make that tackle. You gotta wrap the guy up. So yeah, it was just kind of one of those weird moments. And you're looking back on plays like that. You shouldn't have to. I mean, they should have taken care of business. But yeah, it's that was frustrating.
206 saying, I love you guys, but this is a lot of excuse making without mentioning last year. Please explain to me how Darnold isn't a bust since he was drafted. I'm not making that case at all. We've said this over and over. We talked more about him than just about any other quarterback beyond Geno in the Seahawks, because he was a fascination that he was having this season, because he was a bust for the first 6 years of his career. That's a fact. Nobody's debating that. And even when they did sign him, we sat there going, I don't know what to expect from him. I don't know if he's going to be last year's version or the first 6 years version. No idea. And I say I'm not going to make an assessment after one game that, he's terrible, he's a bust, he's going to revert back. I've got no idea. I felt like they were really conservative with him. And I felt like the play calling was almost, I don't know, like, let's not ask him to do too much. That's how it felt watching it. I don't know what the reality is, but yeah, I'm not going to, one game in the books and go, well, we lost because Sam Darnold's terrible. That wasn't the problem at all in my eyes. He wasn't electric, but he also didn't seem to be given the keys to the car, so to speak.
Yeah, well, and he was 60 to 65%, threw for only 150 yards, but it was 23 attempts. He got sacked once. Didn't throw a touchdown,
which was the the clincher.
Yeah. Didn't throw a touchdown and didn't throw an interception. And let's be clear. Anybody, and I know, like, you know, our guy Tim Booth, I mean, that's what you're a columnist. You have to say things that, you know, I see Steve Kelly up in the box all the time.
Mariners, yeah.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, they're supposed to write things that piss people off, right? And, so, you know, and I'm sorry, he didn't drop the ball. You know, he just didn't.
That was Abe Lucas that ran into him.
Yeah, I mean,
got shoved into him.
Abe is huge. I don't know what he could have done in that situation. Maybe step in, you know, up into the pocket a little bit, but I don't think it was anything about him dropping the ball. I mean, it was just, you know, Abe Lucas is huge. Like I said, 9 times out of 10, he takes care of that bull rush move, and he went up against a really, really good football player right there in Bosa, and you know, I don't think there's any way he could have avoided it.
Hey, Reaction Mondays are powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Let's take 2.
Nick Emmanwori was injured on the 5th play of the game for the Seahawks defense, and Mike Macdonald gave kind of a vague update this morning on Brock and Salk.
Yeah, I'll have more update later, but let's just say, we're not sure on the timetable right now with Nick. So
yeah, that's a surprise that we got that information.
That
from
vague
Mike Macdonald.
information. Yeah, it didn't look good when you saw the replay. He made a nice play. I mean, he's
Really
the guy
good.
I'm probably most excited about amongst the rookies, and that is a huge bummer because he got up, you saw him limping around trying to walk it off, and one of the other players on his team, I couldn't see who it was like waving him down, like, get on the ground. Just sit down and let them come out and check you out, because he was just trying to tough it out.
Yeah.
And then you saw the replay, and it was Leonard Williams who fell on his leg.
It looked like it was ankle or knee.
Yeah, it looked like ankle.
Yeah.
Is what it looked like, and you're like, oh boy, that's a lot of beef falling onto that ankle. Hopefully, it's not a high ankle sprain. Not a that.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of cryptic what McDonald said there. I mean, it's really not saying anything. So
Well, I'm always like super thankful that it's an ankle instead of a knee, because ankles, I mean, what happens is they swell up. You can tape them up, you can spat them up and everything, and you can go and get it warmed up and everything. But a knee is a different story. So hopefully it's the ankle. But yeah, well, how frustrating was that? Watching that kid come in, make a great play. He just kind of sliced through the line there, makes a tackle for a loss, and then gets up limping.
Pretty wild Bills-Ravens game last night. It also included a fan hitting DeAndre Hopkins and Lamar Jackson on their helmets. Adam Schefter reports today that fan has been indefinitely banned from all NFL stadiums.
good,
He looked hammered.
good. And
Looked like
I
he was-
like that Lamar gave him a little 2-hand chuck, shoved him back. I saw people on social media, you shouldn't do that, you're a pro. He's a human being. Somebody's abusing you or being disrespectful. This idea that you make this much money, thus you should be there to take every bit of whatever a fan wants to dish out is nonsense.
I love that Lamar Jackson, like, that was his instant reaction.
Yeah.
You know, and
100% in favor.
And that's just a quarterback there shoving you. So you better, I mean, you're pretty stupid if you're leaning over hitting football players on the head.
When I subscribe to Charles Barkley's statement from decades ago saying you should be able to grab one fan out of the stands every game and beat the hell out of them. That would definitely be the guy. Take 2 is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. How well did our predictions hold up in week 1? We'll listen back to our Call It Now picks. That's coming up next with Wyman and Bob. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
28 runs in their last 2 games.
Home run Gino into the Mariners bullpen. The massive offensive day for the Mariners continue.
The Mariners are back home at T-Mobile Park for the penultimate homestand of the season. And every game matters in the push to the playoffs. Tonight, it's the first of 3 against the Cardinals. First pitch at 6:40, pregame at 5:30 on the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 in the Seattle Sports app.
You know, Bob, honesty and integrity is what sets Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine apart from others. And I've been working with Dr. Wagner for a couple of years now. He was really straight with me, man. I mean, my right knee, it needs replacement, and not all doctors will give it to you straight. I mean, they won't turn down business usually. So after hearing me talk about Dr. Wagner, you decided to go see him for yourself. Your hip was giving you a hard time. What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was the same thing you talked about over and over. It's just his honesty. And I went in there, I had brought in all my MRI results. I had a frayed tendon, a torn labrum, a bursa sac that was inflamed, arthritis, all these different elements. And he told me right out of the gate, look, this isn't going to cure everything, but it will go a long way into helping you. And my hip was hurting if I walked too far, much less working out or sparring or doing any of the things I love to do. So I did it, and it's night and day. And he's right. It's not 100% cured, but I don't feel like I need surgery like I did before this procedure.
Much better.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're back to doing karate in the garage, right?
I'm kicking watermelons. I'm doing all kinds of kung fu fighting. It's amazing.
Hey, listen, so whether it's a shoulder, a hip, like Bob had, an elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, everything you need and nothing you don't.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
This summer, make sure your roof is ready for the season ahead with a company you can trust, like 3 Tree Roofing. We're not just your roofers, we're your neighbors, and we're here to help you protect your home this season. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free on-site estimate and get your roof replaced before the summer rush and potential material price increases. Our certified technicians make your roof replacement easy and worry-free, so you can focus on the important things this summer. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snare that short. Not a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
When your outside matches how you feel on the inside, that's kindness. And so I think that is the one thing that the Lee Johnson Auto family encourages us, is to be like really authentic and really be intentional in how we treat our customers and how we treat each other.
To have a good company, have a good culture, have a good crew that takes care of your customer base, you have to take care of your crew. You can't have miserable people and expect them to give a customer a good experience.
Walking in here, meeting some of the employees already before I was even hired on, welcoming me in, gave me a good indication what this company was all about. So if I were to make an hour and a half drive here and to have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
My least favorite segment.
Revisiting our predictions, our bold predictions. Text line is there for you. We'll get to some of your texts. A lot of them coming in. 866-979-3776. But it's time to take a look back at our Call It Now results, where we go through a number of categories about each game. We do it each week and talk about, yards, passing, rushing, allowed, all that good stuff, and see how we do.
You know what? Here's the win for me today. I'm going to the baseball game tonight. And I did not need any help from Lefko to get my tickets.
Into your Apple Wallet?
Into my
that's
Apple
what you
Wallet.
think now.
Say again?
That's what you think now.
You think something's going to go
Yeah,
haywire
text me at like
between now and
6:15 when you're trying to get in.
He'll be at the door. The usher's going, I can't let you in. It's not working. He's going to have you on the hotline. Lefko, what do I do? That'll be great.
Good luck.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's look back, shall we, Dave?
All right, let's do it.
All right. So we this is one we both whiffed on. We start out with the obvious, and this will be the question each and every week for each game. Do the Seahawks win or lose? We both have them winning.
Yeah, I doubt that our listeners or our texters were listening, so we might as well repeat it. Bob and I, again, for the second time, both have a win here.
This didn't happen, by the way.
Yeah, it didn't. It did. It was there, despite everything that went wrong and everything that didn't look good.
I like that you saved me popping off there. So to make me look even worse, thanks, Mike.
Is that Mike or Matt? Who does that?
Oh, Matt's not here. This is all me.
Well, I didn't know if he could have done it prior to the show.
Yeah, Matt doesn't care enough about you guys to do that. So.
All right.
Ooh, ouch.
All right, next category. Call it now. Rushing yards allowed.
Yards allowed, I'm going to say under on that.
Affirmative.
Definitely. They got the run game in check. And you look at the last 8 games last year.
Yeah.
They were solid.
I'm going under on that as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we got that, right? Yeah. The over-under number we set was 130.5.
Yeah.
Right? So there you go. 130.5. Now, passing yards. Set the number at 250.5. Over or under, and here's what we said.
Yeah, I'm going to go over on that one just to be realistic.
Correct!
I'm with you on the over, and we're both on the under on rushing, especially if McCaffrey's a question mark out there.
He's out of line, but he's right.
So we got that right, and McCaffrey was a question mark, and they showed him warming up before the game to see if he was ready to go, and he was ready to go. So
somehow that dude ended up with 142 all-purpose yards. It didn't seem like he was running all over the place, but...
a couple of big... I mean, Leonard helped him on that one.
Yeah.
Shoved him down the field. Then we went, let's see, next category was total yards allowed, and we set the number at 350.5. And again, this is week 1, which makes it harder to... You don't have any of the tendencies of these teams and, seeing what they do each week. So we're kind of going in blind on this one, but we've set it at 350.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go under on that, actually. Does that make sense? Let's see. They got to really, hold the run game in check.
Yeah, I think they're going to go slightly over. I think they're going to allow over 350.5.
Man, I'm tired of being right.
Yeah, so Bob's one up there on me.
Yeah. So then we moved on to the Seahawks and went for the Seahawks total yards in this game. And what did we set the number at? We set it at I think we set that at 350.5 as well for the Seahawks, not knowing what they were going to look like. Here's what we said.
Yeah, I'm going to say they're going to go over.
Flat out wrong.
7 rookies on their defense. 2 of them are starting. So I like our offense against this defense.
I think I might go just a shade under. Shade under 350.5.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
I'm rolling here.
What's he say there?
That's a bingo.
Bingo.
That's from...
weird.
Well, you got to see the movie.
What is it?
Inglourious Bastards.
I haven't seen that.
No, it's a good movie.
You know what? I
Quentin Tarantino.
just recorded that. As
Oh,
a
you
matter
did?
of fact, yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you'll see the guy,
Your
Christoph Waltz,
recommendation.
plays
Okay.
a brilliant character. He's so good in that. But that's him in that. He's very excited about getting an answer right. So, all right. So we got that one, or I got that one. You missed that one. But all right. Moving on next, we got Seahawks rushing yards. And set that at 140.5 is what we said for the number on that one.
I'm going to say over. Wrong! Yeah, I believe in this system, and I think it's going to be proven out there. The one thing you would say, though, is that Kubiak's not going to run anything that's going to surprise that defense.
As much as I think they're going to lean on it and emphasize it, I think that the Niners know they're going to do that, and they're going to force them to try to pass the ball a bit more. It doesn't mean they're going to stop the run, but I'll go under 140.5.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
Ooh, I'm rolling, Dave.
The way I was going there with nobody's going to be surprised by anything, I should have just stuck with that.
I just left it there.
That would have been good.
All right, so we move on to Seahawks passing yards, which we set the number at 225.5 is the passing yard total, which obviously they did not reach.
I'm going to go under on that one.
The correct answer is the Moops.
I don't know. I mean, the whole Darnold is still thing is still a little bit of a question.
I'm gonna go over.
Not great, Bob.
I don't think it would be a massive day if he threw for 235 yards or something. It would be nice. Hopefully, more touchdowns than picks. We'll see what goes on, but I'm going to take the over on that. I blew that one. All right. A little too much faith in the passing game. I thought they were going to really lean defensively, which they kind of did stop the run game, but the Seahawks got a bit more conservative than I anticipated. And then we set a point total for the Seahawks at 17.5. So just going over under on points allowed, points scored, excuse me.
I'm going to say under.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
All right, I'm going to go with you there. I'll go with you on the under.
You are wise, Bob.
Yeah.
Wow. Feels good to be right for once. It seems like there's been a long time here.
And then this is where we both whiffed because we points allowed is where they lost the game. So obviously, here's how that went.
I'm going to go over, and this is going to be a tight one. No! 21-20.
I'm going to go under. I have them scoring 17.
I'm sure Bob knows. He knows ball.
Ooh, on the money, 17.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice
right.
work.
Yeah, big day for me in a Seahawks. I would have rather been wrong on all of those and have the Seahawks win.
Are you guys going to do this on Friday by any chance for the Pittsburgh game?
Do you want to
Why,
call
you're not
in?
going to be
Because
here?
I won't be here.
So we'll do it Thursday?
So we can get your picks ahead of time? Is that what you're saying?
We'll do it on Thursday.
We could just do it on Friday.
Oh, okay.
Be fine. I don't know who's going to sit in that would be as bad as I am at this, but yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Maybe Moyer.
Yeah, I don't. Who is on Friday? Do we know? Is it you?
No, we don't know yet.
Okay. Well, we'll do it on Thursday. Let's just plan on that.
Dave,
I shouldn't have
let's just
brought
plan
it
on
up.
that.
Shouldn't have brought it up.
Thanks for the heads
I'll
up,
be here
Dave.
Friday. Actually, yeah, I'm flying out commercial on Saturday, so I'll be there.
Okay. All right. We look forward to that. All right. Coming up, we focused a lot on the Seahawks offense to open the show, but what stood out about the defense? We'll get into that coming up next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
The Mike Macdonald Show, the morning after every Seahawks game at 9:30 with Brock and Salk.
Having talked to you after some of these games for the last year, you seem maybe a little more frustrated today.
Of course you're frustrated. We expect to win those games. And I believe we have a really good football team. It's a long season, but there's an urgency to go make it right and to get better. And this is a really critical week for us.
The Mike Macdonald Show. Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app and seattlesports.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured in Washington, designed for Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter. To celebrate the start of football season, the guys at Harley Exteriors are offering no interest and no payments for an entire year. Also, buy one window and get the second one 40% off. And take another $200 off your entire project. Call 833-HARLEY. That's 833-HARLEY. Or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here. I got to tell you about one of the great decisions I've ever made, maybe the best in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for RLE. That's refractive lens exchange. Now, I was having an issue seeing small print. So, yeah, I had the text size on my phone bumped way up, and even that was hard. I couldn't read menus or receipts in restaurants, and if I didn't bring my readers, I was in trouble. So I had them in every room of my house, in my car, making sure I left the car, going into a restaurant with them. It was a big problem. So I went to K2 Vision to see Dr. Kopstein, who started K2 Vision. He also did my procedure. He, along with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest, got together, and King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. Freedom from glasses, contacts, readers, or cataracts. Now, if you're somebody like me, you struggle with small print, or maybe distance vision is more of a problem for you. Whatever it is, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect and, more importantly, your permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And the best part of it is you'll never develop a cataract. So whether it's LASIK, EVO, ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors with all of the experience, all of the data to recommend the very best procedure for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today. Just go to K2VisionRLE.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. K2VisionRLE.com.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends. And explore the lively nightlife scene. The Dining District at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. The ballpark is rocking like 2001. Let us clear up your allergies so you can enjoy more of each game. Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Let us fix your ear, nose, and throat problems. Let's make your congestion, sinusitis, snoring, and allergies a non-issue. We can diagnose and treat everything from allergy testing and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced balloon sinuplasty. Come and see us in Federal Way in Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
The fall, well, it's a great time to reset your workouts on new stuff, and Top Fitness has some great deals going on right now. Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and you've heard me talk about working out in your home gym. It's the best. From flooring to everything that goes in that gym, like treadmills, ellipticals, and strength training systems, well, Top Fitness provides it all. Top Fitness represents the very best brands available, like Washington's own Precor, yes, the company that created the elliptical, and Inspire Fitness, the leader in strength training machines, along with so many others. Give Top Fitness your room dimensions right now, and you know what? They'll do the rest. They'll do a complete fitness room design. And right now, get 0% interest financing. Mention you heard it from me and receive an additional $100 off any new treadmill or home gym. It's no secret that everyone, from personal trainers to professional athletes, love Top Fitness. Top Fitness has locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit them online at topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
You're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you, 866-979-3776. 206 Dave saying, thanks for saying this about the fumble of the quarterback. No one else in sports radio has been willing to take the responsibility off of Sam. And it shouldn't be a big, bold move on our part.
No.
I mean, it was just a statement of fact. It was what happened. It was, we could argue, maybe he should have better pocket presence or he should have stepped up. I mean, he doesn't have eyes in the back of his head, so he didn't see his right tackle, which is, behind him getting bull rushed into his back.
Right.
So,
and also, it wasn't like a timing issue. It wasn't like he was holding on to the ball too long.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that it happened when it did. It was brutal.
Rabel wasn't going, throw it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely wasn't one of those moments. But, you guys can text in on the Seahawks. We'll talk Mariners coming up at 3 o'clock. Ryan Rowland-Smith will join us after the Mariners put 28 runs up in 2 games.
Jeez.
More than they did in their previous 8 games combined, by the way. So we'll get into that coming up. But looking at the defense overall, what'd you think? We know how things went on that final drive, but just the defense's day in totality. What grade would you give them?
I'd give them a B+. I mean, they didn't win the game, obviously, and they got a couple of turnovers, but there was just some plays that they just didn't finish. And what does that mean? I guess I think that gets said a lot, but it's like if you're going to make a tackle, like Big Cat. Wrap him up.
Yeah.
Wrap him up. Don't give him the shoulder and launch him forward. And he knows that, And then, I thought, and we're going to hear the pick by EJ. I mean, he made a mistake early on in the first quarter where he didn't really jump the guy in front of him, but he didn't get the depth that he needed, and they sailed the ball over his head. Well, guess what? He fixed it and ends up getting a takeaway. So, that I thought, there was some good and some bad, and, you held him to, a decent amount. I always got what was the score again? 17-13.
17-13.
I'm always wait, what was the score again? I'm so looking
it was
at
7 points you held them to into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and 17 points total. I mean, to me, I think that's, it's not a winning effort, but it wasn't terrible. And it's not like we were out there watching him just get shredded.
Yeah. Well, and you point out Ernest Jones made a bit of a mistake in terms of his depth. He's a little too shallow, so the next play he drops much deeper, and then this happens.
1st and 10 at the Seattle 39 for the Niners. Opening drive of this second half. McCaffrey in the backfield. Play fake to him. Purdy has time. Throws to the middle. Intercepted. Reaching up. Making the interception is Jones. And he gets hammered down at the 30. Wow, he looked like a receiver / tight end. He skied to make that interception. And the Seahawks stop the Niner drive, the first turnover of the game.
Great play. Very athletic.
Very athletic. I mean, he was like stretched out as far as he could be, and he caught it kind of with his fingertips. But the thing I love about that the most is that, this was a couple of quarters ago where that happened, and it was a similar look and a similar defense. And he's like, I'm going to get some depth this time, and it paid off for him. And I think Purdy just thought, hey, I'm gonna be able to get this guy again, and he threw it and put it in harm's way, basically. But I love that part of it. I think that, the time that I picked off Marino, I had given him something earlier. They ran a combination called an A-dig where they run an arrow route and then a dig behind you. And, and I jumped it early and, he threw it over my head. So the next time I'm like, I'm going to take a step backwards and then jump this thing when he throws it underneath me. And it paid off. And just, being able to log those kinds of things, to me, it looks like he is really comfortable in this defense and that he's able to think about those kinds of things. So I loved that. That was maybe my favorite play in the entire game.
Well, he was asked what I just asked you, not to grade the defense, but just asked how he thought the defense played overall.
Yeah, I think you always look at the positives, but the negatives is what hurts you. The negatives are what you remember. So we take those positives. Okay, we did that well. Cool. Now, let's correct these negative plays that we had, and let's just see if we put together a really positive game, what that looks like for defense.
So you did have positive. That was huge. Julian Love, I thought, played a great game, obviously blocking the field goal, coming up with that sack. He was all over making tackles. I thought he's turned into a stud player for this team.
Julian Love, I'll tell you what, man, he a lot of times I will mistake him for Spoon.
Yeah.
He has like this little extra like quickness and like nobody plays like, Spoon is like a blur on the field. Every once in a while you see that from Julian Love, man. What a great play, blocking the kick, and he's just become a really good, reliable defender.
Let's talk about what everybody else is talking about. And that's Reek Woolen, especially on that final drive. What happened? I mean, look, the scramble at the very end, giving up the touchdown, that's obviously the death blow, if you will. But what happened on the long completion before it, where he looked like he was running stride for stride with Pearsall, and then he stopped, and I thought, oh, Purdy underthrew it, he's going to pick it up, and then you see him like, oh no, like did he just misread the ball, or what the hell happened there?
Yeah, I don't know, because did you remember there was a play, I think it was like in the corner of an end zone where he just came out of nowhere and knocked the ball down.
The fingertips, got his ball,
and I was like,
on ball.
Yeah, and I didn't think he was going to get that one.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, that one's past him. When Pearsall ran the out and up, I was like, this is going to be a pick for him, because he read it perfectly. It's kind of like, I was talking about this yesterday, was that linebacker Gibson last year, that remember when Jared Goff caught a touchdown pass on him, and remember they flipped it, and then Goff ran, and he read it. He read it perfectly, but then he just didn't make the play. And I think for him, he wasn't the fastest guy in the world, but for Reek Woolen, I was shocked that he didn't intercept that ball, much less the guy makes the catch. I mean, it was just, he had it read, he was there, and we
paused.
keep talking about like finishing, but I don't know, maybe he saw something else, but then you couple that with what happened in the corner of the end zone, and you go, okay, he's just not finishing plays. But he had done that earlier with that tip that he tipped away, and I was like, I didn't think he'd get to that one. The other two, I thought for sure he would get to, and he didn't. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with him, and I don't know if it's like Ray was saying, just is it disinterest? I mean, is it all of a sudden like you just black out, or I don't know what's going on, but I mean, I see him like the first part of a play make some of the best reactions and coverage and everything, and he's got the greatest tools for a corner. He can run, like I think he ran like a 4.2 at one point, and then the long arms and legs. I mean, it's perfect for him.
Yeah, it was unfortunate to say the very least. Mike Macdonald on with Brock and Salk. He was asked what his coaching notes for Reek Woolen are after that game.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, look, there's the deep ball where probably until the last second or two of the play, he played pretty well. And we just got to be better when we're in and out of phase on how we're going to attack the ball. It's a technique thing. It's a fundamental thing with Reek. And then we'll get to the bottom of what happened in the end zone. But, the ball was put up in the air. Let's go attack it. Let's go make that play, which he's made those plays before. And, it's funny. It's like, okay, we're going to single out those two plays. But I mean, there's so many other plays throughout the game that got us to those points too, But I mean, those stick out because it's the last drive on defense. We'll play those better in the future.
And it's what cost you the game ultimately. And he's right. There are other great plays that are made during the game that you forget about when the ones that are negative are the ones that ultimately cost you. And where he talks about attacking the ball, he seemed like he was waiting in the end zone like he was the receiver, like the ball was coming to him. And he didn't attack it.
Well, I told you guys earlier that I'll say this today, and I've said it every year, that I always think about this as I had a coach, and it really makes sense. He's like, if you're a defender, the quarterback is not throwing the ball to you. He is not. You have to go take it, and that's the part that's missing there.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if it's maybe he played receiver. He started off as a receiver. Maybe it's that mentality creeps in there randomly every once in a while, but needs to squash it.
All right. We'll talk more about that as the show rolls on, but there's a lot to talk about with this guy after a big weekend for the Mariners. Rowland-Smith is going to join us coming up next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
28 runs in their last 2 games.
Home run Gino into the Mariners bullpen. The massive offensive day for the Mariners continue.
The Mariners are back home at T-Mobile Park for the penultimate homestand of the season. And every game matters in the push to the playoffs. Tonight, it's the first of 3 against the Cardinals. First pitch at 6:40, pregame at 5:30 on the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Upgrade your home's comfort, style, and energy efficiency before winter during Lake Washington Windows Autumn Savings Event. Save $500 on every window, $1,000 on every door, plus enjoy 0 payments and 0 interest for 12 months. Details at lakewashingtonwindows.com.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service. 98 years providing logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linens, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. Visit suplinen.com.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. I'm fortunate to speak with someone who underwent treatment for prostate cancer in February. Dave Wyman here, joined by Tim Hunter, a lifelong local radio host. Tim, how did you hear about Swedish Cyberknife?
Well, it was this familiar-sounding voice on the radio telling me about it, and so I thought I'd investigate that. Everything I heard was what I wanted to hear, and so I reached out.
What's it like to go through the Cyberknife treatment?
Well, you go in, you do a 5-day-in-a-row stint. You go to the Swedish hospital, and it's, they say set aside 45 minutes for each treatment. It's really only about 35 minutes of that little robotic arm dancing around you. There's no pain involved. It's just a matter of listening to music in headphones and trying your best not to move.
Looking back on your Swedish Cyberknife experience, what stood out?
It was too easy. It was just too easy. I went through it, and I just went, that's it?
Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out. At every fill-up or when you store. Start with Stable.
What is your next success story? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can succeed again with more than 135 affordable online degrees and certificates to help you move your career forward. From cybersecurity and AI to healthcare and MBA, our programs help you build critical thinking, leadership, and communication skills that set you apart in today's job market. Designed for working adults, focused on the future. Classes start September 17th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan from Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. We've been fortunate to work with over 4,000 local people and help them hit some pretty amazing weight loss goals. I'm joined by two of them right now, Mike Salk and Ryan Rowland-Smith. Mike, you were able to lose about a pound per day for over a month, 35 pounds in total.
Well, as much as I'd love to take all the credit, really, I was just following the plan. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic made it super easy, and there really was no part I struggled with. I was eating delicious, fresh food, all while losing weight. The accountability from your team was great. It just helped me keep the focus. I felt catered to the entire way, and I think Ryan really had a similar experience.
No doubt about it. I just finished up the program, and I can't believe how well it worked. I wish I would have started sooner. Talk about motivation. So, thanks for the recommendation.
No surgery, no exercise, no packaged meals, no drugs or injections. Just delicious food and a plan that works. Schedule a free 15-minute consultation today at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, the Mariners at least had a big weekend to round out what was ultimately a poor road trip. They put up 28 runs in the final two games against the Atlanta Braves to win that series. They look to keep that momentum going tonight, game one of their series with the St. Louis Cardinals, who are in town. Brian Wu taking the hill. You can catch it all starting at 5:30 with the pregame show, 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Meanwhile, Mike Vrabel said Bill Belichick is welcome at the Patriots facility, quote, to the best of my knowledge, adding that nothing surprises me when it comes to the former coach, talking about scouts being banned at the University of North Carolina. Vrabel was asked about Belichick's status with the Patriots in the wake of Belichick confirming that he banned New England scouts because it's, quote, obvious I'm not welcome at their facility. He said, quote, Bill came back for, to the best of my knowledge, Tom's ceremony. And I'll just go by that. Since his departure as head coach here, he's been back. I'll leave it at that.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
I actually talked about it on You Betcha on the podcast.
He is an unrivaled source of baseball knowledge.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
A guy who always has your back.
Pants back on, try and make the uniform look sweet in a split second. Come out, and I'm trying to open the door. I'm like, what the? And I said, listen, buddy, put your babysitting shoes on because Dad's going out for Father's Day. You got to watch Top Gun. You guys don't listen when I speak. I'm talking to a brick wall right now.
Ryan Rowland-Smith, every week with Wyman and Bob.
That's the open right there.
Here he is, everybody. Look at him smiling, happy, ray of sunshine. He's ready. He's ready, by God, with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. The one, the only Ryan Rowland-Smith is here. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. Good to be back in town. I was on the East Coast for a rock solid week, but good to be back. So ready to roll. Nice little stretch run about to come up. So I'm looking forward to it.
I'm sorry. I thought he was up to something. I thought he was up to no good.
No,
he had a look on
all
his face.
business.
Yeah,
you saw him smiling. You thought he was getting ready to unload some humor on you.
Somebody.
He's got his
That's all business. I got nothing.
Hey, by the way, so you were up there with MLB Network, right? You were.
Yes.
We were just watching it here on TV. It's how many different sets do they have? They have a set that looks like they're sitting in a dugout. Then they've got a set that looks like they're in the corner outfield, and then they got a set that's a regular baseball diamond. I mean, it looks like a really fun place to be.
It's super cool. It really is. They got Studio 42. That's like the little baseball field. That's where the dugouts are and the corners and stuff like that. Then you got Studio 3. That's where you do MLB Tonight. It's a lot darker and more serious. You jump around different spots. And then you got Studio 21. That's where you do like MLB Central, MLB Now.
So they got those 3 big ones, and they got little ones like Studio K and a couple others. But if you're, I want to take my 6-year-old in there and just play wiffle ball, and you can totally do that.
Yeah,
it's epic. That Studio 42 is awesome, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, that looks like a really cool building to be in. But let's talk about this Mariner team. 19 games left, Ryan. 19. It's unbelievable. This road trip in totality was dreadful, but they rounded it out in fine form, putting up 28 runs in the final 2 games against the Braves. That's more combined runs than they had in the previous 8 games. How about that?
Yeah.
Do you buy into momentum? Do you buy into that carries over? Because certainly on Saturday, the pitcher they were going up against had a tremendous August with an ERA of just a shade over 1.
Waldrop, yeah.
That's so
right.
What do you take away from those final 2 games?
Yeah, I do believe in the momentum. I really do. You're on this road trip, and I said this early in the game, early in the week with Bump and Stacey. I said, if there's ever a time to get that slap in the face out on the West Coast like they had, especially in Tampa, now's the time. Because now all of a sudden you have a wild card situation, which, man, it's not like the teams in front of you are all business right now and clicking on all cylinders whatsoever. They've when you're talking Red Sox. And when you're talking, the Yankees, they've got their own issues going on as well when they're in teams in front of you. The teams behind you have got their own issues as well. And the team you face in the AL West have got some issues, and you're really close to them. So I look at that and say, all right, you're going to have one of these stretches where nothing clicks and some of these team meetings involved and where you get your butt handed to you or you get punched in the face, whatever. Have it happen now. Don't have it happen on this next road trip, for example. With that being said, the way they finished off this road trip and just an onslaught of offense against, you mentioned Waldrop on Saturday, man, he was tough, dude. Like the fact they worked him into a corner and they got that split. Julio got that split up in the strike zone and smashed it. That's a great sign. You got all of a sudden you rock up on a Sunday. You don't really have a game plan against the lefty you're facing because he was kind of like a late addition because Spencer Strider pulled out of it. So I'm watching that going, okay, how are you going to beat this guy up? And they did, man. It was just a nice way to finish off a really rough road trip. And we know how they play at home. So they've got this batch of games against the Cardinals, a team that's been playing way better, by the way, but they can handle them. They've got their own flaws. And then the Angels as well. They just have to hit that road trip, man. That's going to be huge. Going off to KC, they've been playing well. They're right there, and also, too, the Houston Astros. So get it done here at home and then hit that road and just be better on the road. But I think momentum is really good. That's just on the offense, too. And on the pitching side, man, to see Castillo be solid, get drilled in the arm, come back out, battle through it. His velocity hasn't been good. There's something going on there, but he just looks so much better. He just had better tempo. He was on the attack, better quality, sink on his two-seamer. And then the guy behind him, the day before, Bryce Miller. That is huge. The fact that you win with those 2 guys on the mound was massive. So I do believe in the momentum. I think they're in a good spot.
We had like a little football thing going on yesterday, Ryan, so I couldn't really watch the game. But no, but I mean, could you see something like, did something click for Luis Castillo, or do you think he figured something out? And same thing with the team, just in general. What do you was there anything that they did on this road trip? I know that they were talking about their off day, and maybe they would get together and do stuff. I guess shave mustaches or something like that. But yeah, I mean, anything that you could notice? I mean,
well, first, okay, a couple things on that. Number one, when you see all the mustaches and some of the little camaraderie things, as silly as it is, and you're like, oh, it's got nothing to do with it. Look, think about it, right? If let's say you roll into that next series in Atlanta and you don't have something goofy like that, or Mike Cameron with the Sage, like he did it, I think it was a couple years ago down in Texas. He did the same thing in Atlanta. Some of that goofy things just get your, as opposed to rocking up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon with your head down, staring at your phone, doing the same monotonous routine because you've still got a month left in the season. You roll up and go, oh, hey, by the way, we're shaving mustache. You're like, I don't want to do that. But you know what? You did because you're connected to something. You know what I'm saying? It's as dumb as it sounds. I'm telling you, when you're in the clubhouse, and Dave, I'm sure you guys had goofy things like that when you were playing. I certainly did. Weird little things you used to do as a team. It just brings you back to, what's happening inside this clubhouse is important, I think, as opposed to, that rough road trip. All of a sudden you start looking glass half empty. Man, what if we don't make the playoffs? Cal made a couple of comments how disappointed you'd be. And all this kind of festers and you start sort of detaching yourself to what's happening there in the middle. And I think that little mustache thing brings all that back as ridiculous as, oh yeah, dude, Mike Cameron rocking up. I saw him in the dugout. I'm like, yes, because he's just got that personality and that character, which is, it's nice to have. The dude's been there before. He's had a really good career, underrated career, if you ask me, on a national level. He rocks up, and he's got that big smile on his face. He's probably hugging dudes and high-fiving, and you can see him in the dugout. Just those little things make such a difference. And I just think that, the Saturday game where they were sort of neck and neck with the Braves, you had Bryce Miller, who hung in there for that fourth inning, fifth inning. He gutted it out. He was on the ropes a couple times and was all good. Then they broke through offensively. You come out and you just absolutely mash, early in the games. I mean, put it this way, guys. The first 7 games of that road trip, they had scored half a run in innings 1 through 3 the entire road trip. So, think about that. So you have a situation where the team you're playing put up 2 or 3. So you're on the back foot straight out of the gates. Or you have a situation where you're trying to make pitch after pitch when it's a close game. It's tough to win in that environment. So early offense, so all those little things, I think are really, really important.
Yeah, I mean, it is as bad again. Ultimately, as the road trip was, there were some positives coming out of there, and you just pointed to the pitching in this series. I mean, the game they lost, Gilbert pitched well. He gave you a quality start. That's his 3rd quality start in a row since that tremendous dud he had out there. So he seems to have turned it around his last 3 starts. You brought up Miller. Castillo's been bad for over a month. So to see him come out there, get drilled like you talked about, still give you 6 with just 1 run, no walks, that's huge. But offensively, it feels like guys are starting to find him. I mean, Gino's starting to hit home runs. Robles is coming up with hits. Cal's got a 6-game hitting streak. Julio's been on fire since the All-Star break. But even on this road trip, 5 home runs, 16 runs driven in on the road trip, hitting 324. I mean, how much of an impact does he have on this lineup when he gets going?
Yeah, huge. I mean, we go. It sounds a little vintage now when you say, this offense relies on him for that energy. Well, it is true, absolutely. A little different now, though, of course, because you have some different guys in there, like a Gino Suarez who has a different type of energy, or even a Josh Naylor, and then you got a dude hitting 53, about to hit 54 home runs to tie a record with Mickey Mantle. So you take away from that. Oh, hey, look, everyone else here is doing average or above average things, maybe. Julio, your guy at the top, top of that lineup, whether he's hitting 1, 2, or 3, has to go off and everything. But it's a little different now. It definitely is. However, man, I was thinking about this with Julio Rodriguez, right? And we know he goes off August, September, he puts up ridiculous numbers. But you go back 2 years ago, second half player. Last year, he had, going into the month of September, his home run totals were in the teens. Like, he hadn't even cracked 20 home runs for a guy who we were just expecting to be this, all-generational player. And all of a sudden, the power this year came on right around the All-Star break. So you're starting to see him chip more and more into that bigger bulk of the season when you're talking some of the power numbers and everything else. But look, the last 2 months for him, there is just a sense of confidence with his approach. He hasn't changed his approach. He's still swinging a ton, swinging at pitches early. He's still chasing a little bit too. But he's just going up and just seeing beach balls at the moment, man. And I'm telling you, if out of all these hitters right now, he's having the biggest impact on this offense. And I think, too, if you can get to a place where you can take that breath after the last couple days on the road, because, again, you look up at the standings, you went from being that top wild card spot, now all of a sudden you got the Rangers and the Royals. You've gone through that whole wave of adversity. Now, as individuals up and down that lineup, you can just look at this and say, I'm just going to take care of business. My swing's in a good spot, and I'm just going to – I see the finish line with what I want to do in the 162, what I want to accomplish, and now you can just go for it. So that's a big one. And I say that because, look, man, as a pitcher, I used to get to the end of August, and I was running on fumes, man. And I was watching this with Brian Wood that last start. He's pitching tonight. But you're running on fumes. You're like, man, I still got another month to try and keep this pace up. Like, I'm having a good year, and I've got to try and keep this 100 pitches every 5 days. Then all of a sudden, you get through that first little batch of days in September. And you're like, oh man, okay, and you can sort of see, you can look at the calendar and go, oh, I've only got 3 or 4 starts left, right? Same as the offense too. And you look at that and go, man, I've only got 3. Let's finish this 162 hard here, and let's make something happen. So you just get that little extra bit of energy. So all that plays into it. I just think they're in the driver's seat in regards to how this wild card situation is, and I think they're going to be okay. Coming home was huge, though, and they're going to take care of business here at home, of course.
Hey, Ryan, you got a 500 ball club coming into town, St. Louis. What you got a little scouting report on them? And
not really, to be honest with you, man. I'm a little late on the prep. I was too busy hanging out. Yeah, I got home on the weekend hanging out with the kids.
In Studio 42.
Yeah,
that's what he was doing.
No, I got home and you know, my 10-year-old, my 6-year-old was like, oh, finally, Dad's home. Like, you know, so I was hanging out. I'm about to do my prep right now, but look, again, man, this is. I say this all the time. You face a team. And I go back to when we saw the Athletics, and you're going to see this with the Angels, and you're going to see this with the Cardinals coming up. You look at these teams go, they're out of it. You know, there's weak links here and there. But you know what? You're going to run into a certain pitcher who's auditioning for a job for next year. You're going to run into that top 100 prospect who hits 500-foot, bombs. He puts a 3-run home run on you in the third inning. So you have all that, man. There's going to be so many different challenges, and the Cardinals are no different. They've been playing well. 7 of their last 10, they've won. And so they've got some pieces there that can beat you. And, again, with these teams that have nothing to lose when it comes to a team situation, but you got that one guy hitting second or third in the lineup who can beat you, or that one starting pitcher on a day where you really need to pull a win out. So it's going to be a challenge, man. They've got a tough road ahead of them still. But I feel like in regards to how everyone's feeling individually, I think that for the Mariners' point of view, I think they're going to be okay.
Hey, looking at this bullpen, they've certainly had their problems here and there, but there are guys that are emerging that I don't think we give enough credit to when things are going well. And to me, that the guy that's emerging is Edward Bizzardo. This guy is becoming a guy that when he comes in the game, I feel like, okay, we're going to be okay. He's given up 1 run in his last 13 appearances. I mean, he just seems like a guy that is becoming one of those higher leverage. I trust him. You know, Spires had a couple of shaky moments here and there. They all have them. But what's your take on what you've seen from Bizzardo?
Yeah, super impressive, man. I mean, look, he went from that, like it's 50-50 here. If there's a ball left out, and he pitches a lot. Like, I'm not going to lie. And by the way, he's like been in top 5 in innings pitched.
Yeah, they use him a lot.
They use him a lot. And the difference is, now you can have someone who gets used a lot, but sometimes I like to look at, what are guys' numbers like day 2 on back-to-back, or even day 3 back-to-back? What are guys' numbers like when they've had the 1 day off? Bizzardo, man, he checks the box on all those categories. His stuff is the same. His spin on the breaking ball is the same as what it is day 1. And so, to me, as far as value, right? Now, we have said this. You guys and myself have had this conversation, I swear, like every other Monday. The bridging the gap from the starting pitching, because it hasn't gotten as deep into games, bridging the gap to get to Munoz is going to be a challenge. It is. And then at the deadline, they're trying so hard to get that second bullpen piece during the trade. It was just so competitive and so overpriced. It was just so tough to get. And so here you are as we're getting into the month of September, and the guys you really rely on heavily, and whether it be Bizzardo or I'll even throw Vargas in there, who's been shaky at times, of course.
Well, he's right behind him in innings. 70 innings for Bizzardo, 67 1/3 for Vargas.
Well, okay. And by the way, for a guy like Vargas, this is the first time, and we've seen a couple first timers. I'll go back to Seawald or a Topa or a Steckenrider, some of these names that stick out to me. Spire a couple of years ago. Think about it, man. These guys would just like fill the gaps in a bullpen because we need an arm up from AAA, to now all of a sudden high leverage / 70 innings / 60-something games. That's insane, man. It's such a huge jump. And so watching Bizzardo do what he's doing, he can cover multiple innings. He can pitch in the 4th and still have the same mindset as when he's in the 8th. And we've seen guys, man, trust me, I was guilty of it too. You come in the 4th inning like, oh, man, this is a blowout and I've just got to cover some innings as opposed to pitching that high leverage. He does it all. So super, super valuable. But this is that time. And what's going to happen is, and I'll throw Matt Brash in this category, obviously Gabe Spire as well, and some of these other guys. This last 3 weeks, you're going to see Dan Wilson have that more sense of urgency. And you're going to be asked to do things that you haven't done before. And you're going to be asked to, look, you have to get it done or you're out, right? Yeah. Tonight. And because we can't stick around. So this is going to be an interesting test. That last little piece of the puzzle to wrap up a really good 162 before you get to think about postseason. How are you down the stretch here when you're running on fumes, man? And I said this, Paul Seawald was a classic example when they went to the playoffs a couple of years ago. He was cooked. He even told me, he goes, dude, I am absolutely cooked because of that stretch run. They leaned on him so heavily. multiple innings and everything else. So it's going to be interesting. But, man, Bizzardo, he has been A+ in this bullpen.
Well, is there any fear they've used him too much? Because Dan put him in the other night when they were getting their doors blown off, and they brought him in. And I'm thinking, this guy's throwing a lot of innings, and this game's over.
So, yeah, no, and it's a great question. Anyone in that bullpen, I'd put him at the top of the list in regards to, I'm not going to say he's like a rubber arm, like a dude who just slings up 88. Oh, I can pitch every day, and I'll go, one of these old, side
Like
slinging
David
McGee.
Wells.
Yeah, no, but he's that dude, man. Like, and again, I always look at stuff like ball behavior and some of the metrics on day 2, day off, and then pitch, and see how these guys respond. Bizzardo, there's really, when you look at some of the numbers and some of, first of all, the results, and also too some of the metrics from him. He's a back-to-back performance is just like it is first day. I feel like if there's anyone in this bullpen that can get leaned on a little more heavily and go, you know what, need you multiple innings, man. It's the 5th inning. We need you to cover the 6th. Let's go. Let's get to the 7th. He's the guy to do it, and he's earned that right. And I think he's not someone that when you get down the stretch, there's going to be a little bit of that. He's human. But down the stretch, if there's anyone that can get burnt out a little bit, I think it's Bizzardo. Knock on wood. I don't want to see him get burnt out. Remember what we said about Emerson Hancock, that first outing ever in the beginning of the year. So, yeah, anyway, I don't want to jinx him here. But, I love it, man. I love it when guys can do that. Put their hand up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when the manager says, hey, is everyone good today? Yeah, I'm good. But you threw 3 innings for the last 3 days straight. No, yeah, I'm good. You know what I mean? I love that, man. There's so much value in that.
You're probably like everybody else looking at the other teams in the race, and as far as winning the division, how probable do you think that is? And then, who kind of stands out as you're looking around at some of these other, playoff-worthy teams like the Rangers and Kansas City? Are you convinced that it's maybe a little bit too late to win the division, or
no?
What are you thinking?
Man, I've been saying this. Everyone's been saying this for weeks. Like, it's right there for the taking. It's a situation where you could literally get in the high 80s in win total and win the AL West. I mean, it hasn't been like that for nearly a decade. So, like, I'm looking at this guy, man, it's so in your reach, and not to mention the fact you go head-to-head with that team coming up here in just a couple series, which I cannot wait to I'll be in the booth for that. I can't wait to call those games, man. It's going to be fun. So the division, to me, looks so gettable. I do worry about some of these teams like KC. They get Cole Reagans back. Texas Rangers somehow. Some of these guys are really stepped up around the injuries as well. I would have said the Rays 3 or 4 days ago, the way they were looking, but they've kind of slipped a little bit, over the weekend. So it's going to be so tight. To me, I'm looking at the AL West going, man, this is way more gettable. And this, to me, feels like not certain, but this is way more gettable in regards to where you're heading as opposed to getting that wild card spot, man. But this AL West has been wild this year. Like, this is the year where you can take advantage of scoring 87, 88 wins and walk away with it with a division title.
Yep, just 2.5 games back of the Astros right now, and as you mentioned, you got a 3-game series coming up back to back. Them in the Kansas City Royals.
Oh, hey, real quick on that, did you guys see what Framber Valdez did his last start when he crossed up the catcher?
Yes, it convinced me that was not intentional.
It was intentional. It was the most bush league thing I have ever seen.
What a clown.
Just, dude, he just if you need to hate the Astros anymore, and I'm telling you, a lot of guys in that clubhouse who are just like, I'm done with this dude, man. Free agent at the end of the year. This is going to cost him a lot of money. Bob, I know you would appreciate that, and Dave, I can speak freely with you guys. That was the most bush league thing I have ever seen, man. If that would have happened with some of these teams I was on, going, I don't know what it is, man, but 5 years ago, there would have been a fight on the field. I couldn't believe that went down. Unreal, man. So, yeah, again, if there's ever a reason to hate the Astros, it's because of that. I get all the other stuff, but for now, man, I couldn't believe it. I was so angry about that.
Well, I'm right there with you. And Dave and I talked about it when it happened. And I'm like, anytime you see something like that happen, you see either the catcher or the pitcher look at each other and kind of like pat their chest, like, hey, that's my bad, or whatever. Or they'll have a meeting at the mound. He threw that ball, and the second it plunked his catcher, he turned his back like, yeah. Take that. And I'm like,
you know what?
Clown.
And I know you guys are going to go, but like the fact, they came out in the spot of the manager, said, oh, yeah, it's all handled behind doors. No. Okay, it should be handled behind doors, but it also should be handled in the clubhouse. And it also should be handled publicly, too, because that catcher, a young catcher like that, all of a sudden, he's now, like, a couple things. Number one, if you thought it was intentional, he now looks like he couldn't handle the pitching staff. It affects his career. And number two, right, this dude, he's barely been in the big leagues. I just couldn't. I was shocked, man, when that whole thing happened. And Oh, it blew me away.
And Framber's mad about the fact that the catcher was telling him to step off, because and he threw the pitch anyway, and the guy launches it into the seats.
Yeah.
So who are you mad at?
I know, man. I was blown away by the fact that the way that was handled was absolutely brutal from the player, from the team.
Yeah.
The whole bit, man. Unreal.
Ryan,
I guarantee if Bregman was there last year, I know we may not have fans of Bregman here, but I think he's a great clubhouse guy. That would not have been, I'm telling you right now, that would have been handled very different.
Yeah,
but anyway,
that was
I know how that came into it. I hate the Astros. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I'm always there for that. And you're always able to speak freely here. That's always.
Yes.
That's
no,
always.
I told you it's my favorite time of the week. Are you kidding me? 3 o'clock on a Monday afternoon. It's the best.
Ryan, we appreciate you, man. It's going to be a fun stretch run. 19 games to go. So have fun out there. We'll talk again next week.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Ryan.
There he is, Ryan Rowland-Smith, our weekly conversation with Ryan, presented by Mazda of Everett. Meanwhile, what did he take away from the O-line's performance yesterday? We'll check in with Charles Cross. That's coming up next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
The Mike Macdonald Show, the morning after every Seahawks game at 9:30 with Brock and Salk.
Having talked to you after some of these games for the last year, you seem maybe a little more frustrated today.
Of course you're frustrated. We expect to win those games. And I believe we have a really good football team. It's a long season, but there's an urgency to go make it right and to get better. And this is a really critical week for us.
The Mike Macdonald Show. Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app and seattlesports.com.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here. And look, if you're somebody that's experiencing pain, joint pain, this is going to be something of interest to you. Wednesday, September 17th, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
Hey, and it's Dave Wyman here, and this live webinar is a great education on how your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
And I'm somebody that experienced it myself. I had a bad hip from jiu-jitsu, as Dave likes to call it, karate. I went in there, a lot of injuries, torn labrum, frayed tendon, arthritis, all kinds of things. And it has been night and day. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't walk long distances, and that has completely changed for me.
Yeah, and this is a live webinar that you should sign up for, but whether it's a shoulder, elbow, hip, knee, even wrists and ankles, the live webinar will explain the procedure, how simple and how safe it is using your own stem cells.
And Dr. Mark Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. So if you're somebody like me, like Dave, that's experienced joint pain, join his free live stem cell webinar Wednesday, September 17th, 6 p.m. to learn about stem cell therapy.
Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's almost over, but the heat is pressing on. If you've got battery trouble, stop by AutoZone for free battery testing. It may just need a charge, and we'll do that for free too. If you do need a battery, we've got options starting at just $89.99. And we'll recycle your old battery for free. Now that's a strong start. Don't miss the end of summer sale. Now at AutoZone until September 22nd.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Summer can be the best time of the year, but if it's not feeling good in your house, if it's turning into an oven, some of the problems might be because you don't have enough insulation in your crawl space or attic. In fact, many homes in our region have damaged insulation or even none at all. Yeah, it's Mike Salk here, and you got to get somebody to check on it. That's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and do a full corner-to-corner inspection of your crawl space and attic. And if it turns out that you've got a problem with your insulation, and maybe that's leading to bigger energy bills, guess what? Local utility companies have special incentives to help with the cost of getting your house properly insulated. In fact, if you're a PSC customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to get your attic properly insulated. Yep, 95%. Call Crawl Pros if you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic. Schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath.
High five.
You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, game one of the season is in the books for the Seattle Seahawks. Not the outcome we all expected or wanted, but hey, you got 16 more to go and some good things happening within this game. And a man who is a part of it is with us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Left tackle Charles Cross is here with us. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. How about y'all?
We're doing good. I mean, it was obviously yesterday a bit disappointing. I'm curious, there were certainly some things to feel good about in that game, and I'm wondering how hard is it after a loss to find the silver lining, if you will, and not focus on, oh, we didn't do this, or I didn't do that, or I should have been better here. How do you approach it after a loss?
It's a lot of games in the season. This is just the first one, so watch the film, learn from it, and make the adjustments and continue to improve from it for the next week.
Hey, Charles, are you one of those guys that has to go and watch the game like right afterwards, or do you wait until? I always recorded the game, so I kind of knew what was coming in film. But what about you? Are you a guy that goes and looks at it right away?
Not right away, but I do like to watch the film before we watch it together as a group.
Hey, tell us about where we are with the run game in your mind. Kansas City preseason, that game was kind of a high point there. But as far as running the run game and how it's different and just what your impression is of where you guys are at right now as far as
I feel like we're definitely heading in the right direction. Continue to fine tune things and make adjustments and continue to get better and better each week could definitely help us in the run game and create sustainability to run the ball throughout the game consistently.
Hey, Charles, do you think preseason is getting shorter and shorter, and I'm sure eventually we're going to be talking about 2 preseason games and 18 regular season games at some point fairly soon. But as it stands, you got 3 games to work with where the starters really get very little to almost no time out there. And then week one, we can talk about, hey, maybe the guys are rusty. You're trying to find a rhythm with the new offense and all of that. Do you feel like it'd be more beneficial to have more time out there on the field in preseason, or do you think that what you did was enough?
Personally, I feel like, everything starts in practice from the jump, just starting practice well, getting the reps in practice, and I feel like they'll help in the preseason and going into the regular season.
Hey, Charles, in this offense, how different is it for you? Like, as far as your job goes, I mean, obviously pass blocking pretty much, the same, but as far as what they're asking you to do in this offense, what has changed since last year?
You just got to run out the ball, create chaos in the run game, move guys, really just finish blocks and finish plays.
Hey, Charles, I know it's only been one regular season game, but as you mentioned, you got all that time on the practice field. What's your impression of the guy to your right there, the rookie Gray Zabel?
Man, Gray's been great so far, man. He's a very smart guy. He's a very athletic guy. He moves guys in the run game, and he's a great pass blocker. I'm very excited for Gray and the upcoming season playing with him.
Tell us about your quarterback, Sam Darnold, and just kind of his leadership out there on the field, Charles. We feel like we're just kind of getting to know him, but what's his personality and what's he like on game day?
I feel like Sam has done a great job. He's calm, cool, collected, even those high-pressure moments. I feel like the guys feed off that, and we feel his energy, and, he does a good job of leading us during the games and throughout the week.
Just as far as the O-line goes, Charles, we always, we talk to different O-linemen, and they always talk about just developing chemistry and developing that bond where you can look at each other. You don't have to say anything. You know what the other guy is going to do. First of all, do you buy into that? Second of all, how long is that 4 or 5 games into a season? Does it take a whole season to sort of develop that?
Yeah, I absolutely do believe in that. Just building that camaraderie and that chemistry together as a group, just all 5 of us playing together as one. And, it takes time, just start, like I said before, things just starting in practice, having conversations, and, just getting to know guys and building that chemistry.
Hey, tell us about Nick Bosa. I mean, I always talk about Charles, an extra meeting guy, like a guy that's that special. You got to, kind of have a game plan for him. Tell us a little bit about what you see from him, because he's kind of had like declining sack numbers over the last couple of years, but he had a good game. And what do you do to prep for guys like that are special?
Yeah, I definitely feel like he's a tremendous player. All respects to him. Just watching extra film, seeing what he had success with, seeing what gave him trouble, doing my part on the team, doing on my scouting report and seeing how I can, have a great game versus him. Yeah. So I feel like they just come with the preparation throughout the week.
Hey, Charles, going into the first game of the season, how I was asking my co-host about this because he played in the league for almost a decade, but you really don't have much film to go on in a lot of situations, right? You have preseason games where they're not game planning, so you don't really know tendencies. How tough is that first game to go in there and it feels like maybe you're kind of guessing what the team may or may not be doing?
Yeah, I did some uncertainty going in because you never know what they're going to come out with, especially with the opening drive. You just have to be prepared for whatever, honestly. Make adjustments on the run and just be a great communicator.
Tell us about your ritual during the week, Charles. You go in Monday and you kind of flush it, right? And then on Tuesdays, what are you doing to get ready for the next week? Just kind of take us through how you've developed your ritual during the week.
So Monday, you come in, watch film from the previous game, flush it, get the personnel for the upcoming team, watch film, start the game plan. And, each day is we installing something new in the game plan. So just having a great understanding of the game plan and also a great understanding of who we're going against and what they like to do from a defensive schematic point.
Hey, Charles, tell us about Coach Macdonald, and just, kind of some of the experiences you've had with him and your relationship with him and just his leadership style.
I feel like he's been doing like a great job, just coming in and creating his own culture here and guys buying into that and like building something special here that Seattle, that everyone, wants to be a part of and enjoys being a part of.
Hey, just you talk about watching film of the game, and I don't know if you had a chance to sit down and do that yet, but just first impression from you, how do you feel like the line played in this game, and how do you think you individually played?
From the offensive line standpoint, I feel like we had a lot of high spots in the game. Of course, there's always room for improvement. So, just watching the film and seeing how can we improve from that. I'll just say the same for myself. I feel like I had high points in the game, but also I feel like I also improve. I can also improve and play better, and just be the best version of myself when I come out there and play every Sunday.
Hey, Charles, last one before we let you go. We saw your teammate, your line mate on the other side, Abe Lucas, sign a new deal, which I think everybody was excited about. We know your option got picked up, but I would imagine your extension's probably not far away. Maybe it's right around the corner. Are you guys talking with the team at this point?
Right now, just focus on the season and the upcoming game, and that's my mindset for right now. I can just control what's next, and it's Pittsburgh.
Well, Charles, again, a lot of things to pull from this game that are positive, and hopefully it results in a W coming up against the Steelers this coming weekend. Thanks so much for taking time with us, as always, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one.
There you go. There's Charles Cross, everybody. If you missed any part of that conversation, you can find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Reaction Mondays are powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Coming up, how do we feel about the Mariners' playoff chances after this weekend? We'll get into that next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
The Mike Macdonald Show, the morning after every Seahawks game at 9:30 with Brock and Salk.
Having talked to you after some of these games for the last year, you seem maybe a little more frustrated today.
Of course you're frustrated. We expect to win those games. And I believe we have a really good football team. It's a long season, but there's an urgency to go make it right and to get better. And this is a really critical week for us.
The Mike Macdonald Show. Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app and seattlesports.com.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here, and September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. And on average, 1 in 8 men in the U.S. will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during their lifetime. Many treatments are available, especially locally. I recently spoke with someone who underwent treatment for prostate cancer in February. Tim Hunter, he's a lifelong local radio host, and Tim underwent Swedish cyberknife treatment the week after the Super Bowl, and it was literally a week. All it took was 5 days in a row, with each session lasting less than an hour. And he chose Swedish cyberknife because it was only 5 days of treatment versus several months with other treatments. And on top of that, Swedish cyberknife had by far the least interruption on his daily life. So no surgery, no catheter, and the recovery was incredibly quick. And Tim heard about the cyberknife treatment from our radio show, these commercials, just like you're hearing right now. So if you, a friend, or a family member is diagnosed with prostate cancer, request information about treatment at swedish.org/cyberknife-prostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish cyberknife.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat.
Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states and situations.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Now is the time. We talk about it year-round, but roofing season really is upon us. It's Mike Salk here. So what makes it roofing season? Long, dry days where roofing crews can work realistically sun up to sundown. They're cranking out projects all over our region, and Riverside Roofing is, of course, leading the charge. Local to Marysville, Riverside Roofing serves the entirety of Western Washington. They do amazing work. They've earned my recommendation, plus industry awards like GAF Master Elite's President's Club, a status fewer than 1% of roofing companies in the entire country actually achieve. Get a roofing quote in less than 60 seconds using Quick Quote directly on riversideroofingllc.com. It'll pop up as soon as you go on their website. During and after your roofing job, you can expect a yard and driveway totally clean of debris. Behind their national accolades is a family company from right here in Marysville, built upon important local values like trust. That's why Riverside Roofing is the local roofing company you can trust. Go to riversideroofingllc.com.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and I can see clearly now. It's amazing. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for Refractive Lens Exchange, or RLE. Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, contacts, readers, or cataracts. So if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the capper. You're never going to develop a cataract. I'm somebody that needed readers in every room of the house. I needed to see the scoreboard out at ball games. I just couldn't see clearly. That has all changed thanks to RLE. Whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to point you in the right direction. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten, classics are remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
19 games to go, Dave. How quickly does this season feel like it's blown by?
It has. We were like at 58. It seemed like just like a week ago.
It's yeah. I mean, 162 is a grind. We talk about that, and at points during the season, you're like, okay, yeah, they'll get it. It's big deal. It's May. It's June. You still got 100 games. You still got 90. You got 19.
Yeah,
and the beauty is, like we've talked about over and over, this team's in contention. They are currently a playoff team, so every game, we're dialed into every game. It means the world. Watching all the teams around them, that's part of the fun. But it goes quick. What's your coming off those two games? I mean, this road trip was just dreadful leading into those two, and the confidence was at an all-time low, and I was getting texts from friends. What in the hell are they doing? What's wrong with everybody? Stinks. Fire everybody. I mean, that was social media. That was my friend. That was everybody. And then they put up 28 runs in 2 games, and you're going, well, okay. No, now all of a sudden it's just a shift in attitude and a shift in optimism. Did it alter your perception at all coming out of that?
Yeah, it did. I mean, the fact that they were I went through it. They had 20 hits. We didn't get a chance to see much of it, but looked at the highlights, but I don't know. You know, the weird thing is that was a pretty dreadful road trip. I mean, it obviously you took 1 out of 2 from Cleveland, swept by Tampa, and then the last 2, great. But every time I look at the standings and like, where are they? After those games, like where they lost 4 in a row, it just feels so terrible that you're like, I expect to look and everybody else has caught up to us, and the Astros are way too far away and we'll never catch them. But they're only 2.5 back of the Astros. And it's kind of surprising because how it feels versus how the reality of it. And then, you got it seems like the Rangers are always a game and a half behind, no matter what. So I don't know. They're keeping pace that way, but now all of a sudden I'm starting to think, man, like Ryan Rowland-Smith was saying, I think the Astros are takeable. Definitely,
it's been as takeable, to use your word, as it's been in years.
Yeah,
this division is there to be had. Nobody's running. Astros have run away with nothing. The fact. Again, I hate tipping the cap, but the fact that they're even in the position they're in with all of the injuries they've suffered is a minor miracle. But they can thank the Mariners for not doing their part and every other team. So same reason the Mariners are in their spot. They're 2.5 games back there. Right now, they're 5 games behind the Yankees for that number 1 wild card spot. They're 3.5 back of the Red Sox for the number 2 wild card spot. They are currently number 3, a game and a half up on the Rangers, 2 games up on the Royals, 2.5 on the Guardians, and then 4 on the Rays. Rays won 7 in a row, and now they've lost 3 in a row. So it's like everybody, I'm guessing every fan base is like us going, it's the worst time. I mean, you got a handful of games left, and you're in a losing streak. You were right there. You were right on the heels of the Mariners for that 3rd wild card spot. Now they're 4 games back, but there's just so much traffic right there behind you. You can't slip up, right? You can't count on the teams continuing to lose when you lose. When you've got 3 teams within 2 games of you, you can't do it because not all of them are going to continue to face plant. So you got to keep pace and handle your business because they're right there. They're right there. There's a lot of dogs nipping at your heels right there.
Yeah, and I'm looking at hopefully they take care of business and win both of these series with St. Louis and the Angels before they go back out on the road again. But, we're talking about Kansas City being a threat in the wild card, going there for 3 games. And then, if you get head-to-head. Yeah, and back-to-back to Houston, you get, head-to-head wins there with Houston. That'll be huge. So that's a big road trip. But in the meantime, they got to take care of business. And like I said, St. Louis is a 500 ball club. But, like Ryan Rowland-Smith said, every team has some guy that can just get 5 hits off you.
Oh, yeah.
Or just, pitch their tails off or whatever. So, yeah, everybody's, working for a contract or just to put, good stats out there. So you got to be careful. So I'm not just going, oh, yeah, we should just sweep St. Louis. I think they're going to have to play really well. But they're on a pretty good heater right now with these back-to-back, as you mentioned, 28-run games.
Yeah, well, the thing that made me feel better, the pitching, that you got good pitching out of all 3 starters in that Braves series. Most importantly, Castillo, because he's just been so bad over the past month. And we're going, is he broken? Is it age? Is this finally it? What's going on? So, yeah, velocity was still down a bit, but he was able to locate. He was able to do what he needed to do. He didn't walk anybody. Gave up a home run. Okay. Gave up 1 run, gave you a quality start. I mean, that was a huge bounce back. That made me feel much better. Logan's given you 3 quality starts in a row since his tremendous dud. Mm-hmm. And then Miller wasn't dominant, but he kept you in the game. Gave you 5 1/3, gave up 2 runs. So, or 3 runs, 2 or 3. He kept you in the game. Right. So your pitching is starting to hopefully round in shape, but seeing Gino hit, seeing Robles in the lineup coming up with hits, seeing Randy hit, seeing the guys outside of Cal and Julio getting it, Polanco coming up with home run, like all the rest of the lineup is starting to find it. It feels like they certainly did in those 2 games. Felt like everybody was hitting. So it's not just Julio and Cal; it's everybody else chipping in there. So that gave me a little bit more confidence on top of the pitching going. Now, somebody texted and goes, well, you know how that goes. They score a bunch of runs. That means they're going to score 1 run tonight.
Yeah.
It could happen. I hope it doesn't, but we've seen it. We certainly have seen it. But Dan Wilson talking after the game, talking about just how important it was to get that series win in Atlanta after what was ultimately a really tough road trip.
Yeah, no doubt. It's been a long trip, and to get the series win here is big, and to get back home now is even better. And so, we'll get through the flight tonight and get home, and then come back tomorrow and continue to keep the point on the pressure.
Yeah, it seemed like forever ago that since they've been home. But you're talking about Julio. You think he's going to get the 30-30? He's
got 30 home runs now. He needs 5 stolen bases.
30 home runs and 5. Yeah, he's 25 stolen bases right now. So
I think he will.
Yeah, that would be really cool. But he's been hot, and he's been like, we haven't talked about him. I think that's maybe the best thing. Kind of like when you talk about offensive line, if you're not talking about them, they're doing a pretty good job. But yeah, Julio's he's having a good month so far, and then he really turned things around the second half of the season.
Yeah, and as bad as the road trip was, he had a really good road trip.
Yeah,
so individually it was good for him. For the team, it was not good. But we'll talk more about that. Meanwhile, what stood out to Mike Macdonald one day later, and what's the latest with Nick Emmanwori? We'll get all the answers from his weekly Monday press conference. That is coming your way next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2.
I don't think the game was fundamentally lost on that touchdown to Tunges. When to you was the moment this game was lost?
So I don't look at one play and say, that's why you lost the game. So offensively, I'm looking at the way that the 49ers are playing against the Seahawks offense, and they can almost predict what's going to happen in that 49ers D-line that they're thin.
Bump and Stacy, weekdays 10 to 2 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
GNC knows that you're not always feeling it at the gym. But don't get down, get lit, and get more out of every workout. Beyond Raw Lit is a clinically dosed pre-workout that flips the switch and gives you more energy, focus, intensity, and pumps. The perfect combo for a killer workout. Plus, it's got incredible flavors and thousands of 5-star reviews, so you know it's good. Pick it up at GNC stores or go to gnc.com.
My name is Georgios Tsetis. I'm the co-founder of Nutrafol. My hair started thinning in my early 20s. I tried everything, and nothing was really working. So we created Nutrafol. Our hair growth supplements undergo clinical trials and have helped millions of men and women get visibly thicker and stronger hair in just 3 to 6 months.
Get growing at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life, it was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Ooh, that face. Quantum fiber internet loves that face.
That's Jamila.
Gage Jamila.
She's thinking outside the box from inside the box.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi keeps her meeting game strong. From the back door to the front lawn.
Rushing all of the video calls. Back to back to back video calls.
Quantum fiber internet blowing the soxies up all those people in all those boxes. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Additional pods may be needed to achieve Wi-Fi coverage in some locations. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners looking to keep the good vibes rolling after they just crushed the Braves in the final 2 games of that series, putting up 28 combined runs in those final 2 games. They hopefully can keep some of that happening tonight when they face off against the Cardinals, who are in town for a 3-game series. Beginning tonight, Brian Wu on the hill for Game 1. You can catch it all starting at 5:30 with the pregame show, 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Other games going on right now, the Royals, who are right on the heels of the Mariners. Right now, top of the second, they are losing to the Guardians 1-0. Bottom of the second in Miami, Nationals out to a 1-0 lead. Bottom of the first in Philadelphia, no score between the Mets and the Phillies. Still to come, Cubs and Braves in Atlanta. Rangers playing host to the Brewers. You got the Angels taking on the Twins in Anaheim. Reds and Padres in San Diego. Diamondbacks on the road to take on the Giants. The Red Sox taking on the A's in Sacramento. And the Dodgers hosting the Rockies.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Well, things didn't go the way we thought or hoped for the Seahawks in Game 1 of the season as they fall to the 49ers. But there's some things to pull from this game that were certainly in the positive column. And Mike Macdonald speaking with the media today. Here's a bit of what he had to say.
Good to see everybody. Had a good morning. Guys played really hard yesterday. Obviously, disappointing result, but a lot of the process up to this point I'm pleased with, which would have been the same answer if would have made a couple of plays there at the end, but the intent is there. Detail we got to improve on as a football team, and we'll do that. So started today, and we'll go work our tails off this week, and look forward to playing Pittsburgh on Sunday.
You had one play action pass attempt and almost 60% plus on shotgun. Was that the intent going in? Did you guys throw the fastball that you wanted to throw on offense?
Yeah, we need to action more. We need more movement. So we'll call it and we'll execute it when called.
Did you see how the run game? It seemed like some drives was kind of moving and other times it started a little bit.
Yeah, it seemed to me when we get it targeted and we're all on the same page, we're doing a lot of good stuff. When we have some indecisiveness, it felt like that's when things got twisted a little bit. But a lot of positives. Guys are finishing plays the right way, and a lot of stuff that we can build on moving forward.
How did you assess Sam Darnold's game overall?
I thought he played fast. Thought he played decisive. Took care of the ball. Put us in a lot of great positions, but unfortunately, let's go close it out.
Injury, Josh Jobe had to play a lot of snaps, with 80%. They targeted him 5 times and just gave up 1 catch for 1 yard. What'd you see from the way that he had a pick? What'd you see from him out there with that extended playing time having to be thrown in there?
Josh is ready to go. He's always going to be a big part of the game plan. He's competing for more snaps. And I thought he played a tremendous football game. Played physical, played smart, played disciplined, finished his plays right. I thought he played a great game.
What do you think about on Nick and his health at all?
It is a high ankle for Nick. Let's call it like week to week at this point. If we make a move, it would be probably the next day or two. We got to decide whether or not to, make a move on that front.
So is IR playing potentially?
That's under consideration. Yeah, we'll see here in the next few days.
What did you see from Byron Murphy on second watch?
Did a lot of great things in the run game. I think as a whole we can rush better as a defense, and so he's kind of part of that equation. But our rush and coverage need to work better together. But I thought in the run game he played a really good game.
The way the running backs kind of snaps look like it was pretty even basically between Ken and Zach.
Yeah, we're not like tallying reps as the game goes on, but it's a lot of it's based off how the game's going, and I feel like what plays guys run better and things like that. But it'll be adjustable as the season unfolds.
You mentioned this on the radio, just the physicality. Is that you seen that on both sides of the ball, or is that more showing up on defense? Or
it's on all 3 phases. Our guys play the right way. Like I said, our intent is right now, but we're missing some detail that has, in my opinion, prohibits us from making some of those plays that we need to be able to make to win a game like that.
Early down passing, you guys were mostly running on those early downs, but when you did pass, you're pretty effective. How do you kind of balance the identity of wanting to run the ball, but the effectiveness, efficiency of kind of passing when they're not expecting it?
Well, that's the magic, right? It's just how do you make it come together? A lot of it's based off of what you have going into the plan and how you feel like teams are playing you and what you're doing well and what you have up. So, again, it's a game-to-game thing, but yeah, we'll. Look, I mean, those are the things that we're looking at on how to improve and how to move forward from here.
When you say Josh is competing for more playing time, is there a specific role he'd be competing for there?
At corner.
Yeah, no, I mean, like for
at corner.
Or like at weak side or
either side. I mean, you go out and you produce. Why would we not play you?
Yeah, what did you see from Tyrese Knight, just his overall?
Look, he's his first game back. He lacked a lot of reps throughout camp. Showed a little rustiness, but made some plays as well, and expect him to kind of pick it up here moving forward. But that's one of the reasons we had Drake play as well. I thought Drake went in there and played good football for us. So let's go have a great week with T Knight.
Was that more Drake playing? Was that more a pitch count or just competition? How the game evolved?
Both.
Do you anticipate that Chenna and or Bobo might be back this week, or Derek?
Optimistic with all 3. So I know Chenna's definitely practicing. We'll see Derek as it unfolds, and same thing with Bobo. But optimistic with those latter 2.
He didn't get a catch in the game, but coming back from the injury, how do you see Torrey kind of jumping in the mix with the guy, trying to get back up to speed?
Did his job, hopped in there, head first. A lot of space and opportunity there for him, so keep grinding away, keep working hard, ball find you. Keep hitting your targets in the run game. It's rock and roll.
You guys didn't have as much outside zone, it seemed like, in that game as maybe expected. Was that more about what the 49ers were giving you looks-wise, or just a different plan for this game?
Probably don't want to disclose like our our strategy there on what we had up and what we didn't. But I'll say this: when we ran it, I thought it was effective. So that's what we are. We're an outside zone team with inside zone and gap complements, and that's what we're going to be.
Thank you. You went to A.J. Barner on a tush-push style play there. What do you like about him in that role and deploying him with that?
Well, it's a little unexpected. You don't expect him to be a quarterback. I don't know how much he weighs, but it's more than me some days. Dependable. He's been able to execute it throughout camp and throughout the spring, so felt like it was a good opportunity to run that play.
With Milroe, I think in the past you said you want to put him in, so what he does well comes to life.
Yeah.
What are you trying to make come to life?
Well, he had an option to throw there. I mean, option to use his legs. Made the right decision in that moment, but we have more plays up for him. We just didn't get to him.
How's the team the day after? What's the mood in there?
Guys are good. They're disappointed. You know, we're all disappointed. We're all a little, edgy. But we're determined. I think we're optimistic. We're still confident in who we are. But we understand we have work to do. So let's go get to work.
Look back at the third downs on defense. Was there a general theme that popped up revisiting the film?
First thing is they're too short. We need to create longer third downs. And no matter the situation, rush and coverage have to work together better. And so be a point of emphasis moving forward. To play great football, you have to do that on every down, but especially third down.
The interception that Ernest had to be dropping that deep, and it looked like Corey just probably didn't expect him to be there.
It's a great example of like how rush and coverage work together. We timed up a pressure really well. Drake won his one-on-one on the running back. Didn't let the quarterback throw into his throw. EJ's where he's supposed to be in coverage, and he makes a phenomenal play. It's just kind of how it all works together. If we give the quarterback plenty of time to throw and step into it, the ball's probably a little bit more on time, and we're not having this conversation. So it takes all 11 every play, and details matter, and when we do it, we play some really good football.
What do you think of the pass rush as a whole?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's not where we want it to be. I think we did some good things, did some really good things, but we need to be better moving forward. Guys know that. And they're going to do that. We got great guys. They're on it. They're motivated. Again, they play. You guys watched it, or hope you watched it. They play extremely hard, physical. The last play of the game is a great indicator. We got guys throwing their bodies all over the place. Derek Hall made a phenomenal hustle play, tackled the quarterback the right way. And the play just didn't go our way. They're doing it for, the 78th play of the game? So that tells you who they are.
I'll show you his first game. Yeah.
Well, that's the one play, and then that sticks out to me is just his overall effort is going to be, it's a Derek Hall, right?
I did, but I meant Hall. So.
Oh, okay.
But go ahead.
Well, I thought Derek Hall played a really good football game. DeMarcus, I thought, was who we thought he was. He's going to be really disruptive in the run game, and in the pass game, same thing, uses physicality, speed as a changeup, and I thought when he's in there, we're working well together. I would have liked to get him some more pass rush. We just need more pass rush opportunities as a football team, and I think our pass rush will come alive if we do that.
The penalty on Leonard Williams, did you have any different view of that with the film?
We just want to make sure we're coaching the right things. So, in that moment, I could see why they called it, see why they called it.
That didn't go exactly the way you wanted, but could you feel the crowd in that game yesterday?
I did. We got to start faster so we can, but our offense did a great job of responding, and we needed them there in that push, especially in those drives that our guys were gassed. And look, I know you see red across the field and stuff, but when you look at the totality of the stadium, our 12s are rocking and they were into it, and we need them when we're at home, and we are absolutely determined to play better at home and win games so we can make this thing come to life.
Can you talk about details on things you need to improve, specifically with the run game? Were the details an issue there?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say when we're not running the ball effectively, we're either not hitting our targets, or we're wrongly leveraged, or maybe not taking the right path. Could just be one of whatever things. It's not like guys don't know what to do. It's just how to do them to a certain extent. And We'll get those things cleaned up as we go. I mean, you're never going to play a perfect football game. That's why the effort and the physicality are so important, because a lot of times that makes up for a little lack of detail here or there. They got good players too. Like they're allowed to go make plays, and they're allowed to game plan and do some things that you might or may not expect. And that's why the game of football is so great. It's just back and forth, this battle of wills. So, that's just what I'm talking about. When we're on our stuff and we're rolling, I think we can be pretty dang good.
The final touchdown, 49ers final touchdown with Reek, is that just to chalk that up to a case of like the guy making a great catch, or is there something different you can do on that play? Attack the ball.
I really believe Reek was trying to attack the football. We would have all loved him to make the play, and I guarantee you, Tariq Woolen is the number one person that he wishes that he made the play too. And he's made plays like that. I'm thinking of the Rams game last year in 2 minute. The first play of the game, or the first game last year in Denver when he made the play on the over route. I mean, he's made some tremendous plays for us. Made a great play on the red zone and there on the goal line. Unfortunately, the 2 plays that he wants back are the ones near the end of the game. So one's a technique thing, and I think the other thing's just maybe put yourself in a better body position where you make the play, not the other guy. But the other guy made a great play too.
Anything else? Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you.
There you go. There's Mike Macdonald addressing the media in the wake of the loss to the San Francisco 49ers. By the way, reaction Mondays are powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The bad news out of all of that is that Nick Emmanwori has a high ankle sprain. They said immediately in the aftermath last night, it was like, it doesn't look like a high ankle sprain. Now it is, which tends to linger and can be an IL situation. So I guess we'll wait and see. But he's what do you call it, week to week?
Yeah, and I think that's your tibia, fibia. It's like the higher part of it where there's like some tissue there that keeps those two
say it's an
together.
actual like fracture or break, sort of, or
The professor used to call it a broken leg.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little bit tougher, and doesn't sound like he needs the surgery. They have that surgery that Aaron Rodgers had. Remember, he had that high ankle strain where they put like a cord in there that pulls the bones together or something like that. But hopefully it's not that. But what a shame, man. That's the part that sucks. When you have a player, he's playing well, and then the injuries come. It's just so frustrating.
Well, especially as a rookie, where he's wanting to go out there and show you what he can do, and this is his first chance as a pro to get out there, and he makes a great play, and just football. Leonard Williams falls on his leg, and just it's brutal.
So I mean, I guess if I'd have to guess based on what he said and what I saw, I'd say he's probably going to miss 3 or 4 games
at least, right?
Yeah. So hopefully it's not too bad. How'd you feel about? I felt a lot better about Reek Woolen when he talked about him, because it doesn't sound like there's like a lack of focus or anything. It's just that
he's saying technique on one, and he's talking about the long play.
Yeah.
Why is that technique where to me it just looks like he misread the ball in the air? Like he started to slow up, like, oh, I got it, like he's catching a pop-up.
Yeah.
And like you, I thought, oh, he's going to pick this thing off. And then it's like all of a sudden you realize, uh-oh. It's like a center fielder you see when it's a line drive and they have a hard time picking it up, and at the last second they go, oh, man, this is over my head.
Right.
You see where they kind of run in, stop, turn around and run. That's what it reminded me of.
Well, and I think that's where he is saying this is technique. A technique problem is that, maybe you put your head down and run first and then relocate the ball. And I think on both of those, it was like he was looking at the ball and instead of getting to the spot.
Yeah.
So I think that was the technique that he was referring to. But I don't know. I mean, he said, hey, look, Reek, he thought he was attacking the ball in the end zone on that play. And then the other one, he said it was just technique. But I mean, I wonder how much of that is he's a receiver, because he was a receiver early on at UTSA, and then he developed into a corner, and maybe there's still some bad habits there, because like I said, for the receivers, the quarterback's throwing the ball to them. He's not throwing it to you, and so you have to have like a different mindset and a different mentality. But I thought because I remember this so clearly, where Mike was last year was talking about in Denver, where he picked off that deep over, And you were probably sitting there in the press conference, and he's like, anybody ever seen that before? You ever see a guy like make that kind of play? So he mentioned that and another play. And so it was positive news, and it's not, I think you think the worst of a guy, especially when he got the suspension last year, where he didn't start the first part of, I think it was the Arizona game. And it was kind of like a punishment for him not, being dialed in. And so it makes me feel a little bit better about that. And, maybe that's, as long as there's like an explanation for it, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a technique thing, or he was attacking the ball. The other guy just made a good play. I mean, you have to consider that. And I think a lot of people are going, oh, this Tongas guy, he was like a walk-on at Cal, and he was, an undrafted free agent. How could he make that play? And, all that stuff that factors into it. But, yeah, that was the one thing I think I got out of that, sounds like he really likes Josh Jobe.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, as far as Reek goes, in whether it's lack of focus or losing concentration or whatever, wouldn't this, if we're going to look for a positive out of this has to get you focused if you're somebody that struggles with it, right? Right now, you're the GOAT of the game, unfortunately. You're the guy people are pointing to, fair or unfair. Right. Whether we can debate whether he deserves it or not, but that's just the reality. As fans are looking at him going, he blew it, he stinks. He knows that. Right. He's hearing that. So if that doesn't get you focused and inspired to go out there next week and go, oh, yeah, I'm going to show you what I can do.
Yeah.
Right? Then nothing will. Right? I'm just trying to look at, okay, what's the positive out of this for him? I would hope we see the best version of him next week, because right now he's the guy wearing it. Right. He's wearing this loss, and it could be Abe Lucas that we could point to. We could point to the offense. We could point to the lack. I mean, there are a lot of different things that went on. It wasn't just Reek Woolen screwed up, and the whole game was perfect prior to that.
Right.
But unfortunately, it gets shrunk down to he screwed it up. That's the last thing we saw. He gave up the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah, and, maybe a little reset for him. He thought he was playing well in the preseason, and, that's just kind of a wake-up call for him, I think. So, and like you've mentioned before, this is a contract year for him, and that
K9.
Maybe that's something where it's like, okay, I gotta do a little bit more. What I think is good enough is not good enough.
Yeah.
So Mike talked a lot about that with most of the players.
What do you think the problem was with the run game yesterday in terms of just their inability to run it the way we had hoped, the way we sort of were when we kept throwing out, hey, it's preseason, so take it for what it is, but it looked really promising. They did run more than they threw it, but you ran for 86 yards. Do you put that on the line? Do you put it on the running backs? Do you put it on the defense? Was just that good? Why were they not more effective, in your opinion?
Their defense was surprising to me. I'll say that. And like I said, there's always guys that step up, like that Winters guy that hadn't heard of before. I think it's his second year, where he made a ton of plays. Same thing with the rookie, that Upton Stout kid. So, I think it's...
Did the line look good to you, or did they
looked okay. They just looked okay. There was nothing that stood out to me in a positive way. Like, when you watch that preseason game with Gray Zabel, for instance, there's, the butt block thing where he gets in front of the guy and just kind of slows down and keeps him shielded away from the play. There was the one where he hops over the guy's leg so he doesn't trip and gets the block, and we just didn't see any of that. And, saw him struggle a few times. So I think...
Darnold was kept clean. He got sacked on that final play. That's Abe Lucas did get... He got owned on that play, and that resulted in the fumble, but that was the only sack of the game.
Right. Yeah. So, I thought the O-line was okay, but you mentioned it, the 84 yards. I just thought that they were going to be way better than that, and that they were going to run the ball. And then once you can start running the ball and you have some successful plays, then you can start to incorporate all of those really cool, like play action passes and stuff like that. And I think Mike is, like me, I think a lot of people will say, oh, you don't have to have a good run game to play, run play action pass. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I think Mike believes that. So they didn't get to a lot of that because, you just saw a lot of the defense really looking fooled in that game against Kansas City in the preseason. And there were a fair number of starters out there. So, yeah, I just thought it was going to look more like that. But, there's also the familiarity factor that these guys have been looking at a lot of these plays. And it's pretty similar. I know Shanahan's making the calls mostly, but their offensive coordinator is from the same family tree.
Yeah.
Not just the coaching tree, the family tree.
All right. Coming up after the last two games, is everything fixed with the Mariners? We're going to weigh in on that. Coming up next, it's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
28 runs in their last two games.
Home run Gino into the Mariners bullpen. The massive offensive day for the Mariners continue.
The Mariners are back home at T-Mobile Park for the penultimate homestand of the season. And every game matters in the push to the playoffs. Tonight, it's the first of three against the Cardinals. First pitch at 6:40, pregame at 5:30 on the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 in the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and if you're somebody like Dave Wyman or myself and you've beaten the hell out of your body over the years and you're living with joint pain, you've got injuries you've got to deal with, well, this will interest you. Wednesday, September 17th, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
That's a good way to put it, Bob. We have beaten the crap out of ourselves. Yeah, and also the live webinar, it's a great education on how using your own stem cells can be extremely successful. It's a successful method to help regenerate native tissue in your rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
Yeah, and it works on a hip as well, I've come to learn. After hearing you talk about success stories, I went to go see Dr. Mark Wagner, brought all my film with him, all the MRIs, and he sat me down, gave me the truth. It's not going to fix everything. You have multiple issues, but it will go a long way in helping, and he was right. All right, right now I feel like I don't need to think about surgery. I can do pretty much everything I did prior to the injury thanks to this procedure.
Yeah, and that procedure, it's allowing you to, forego the whole surgery thing. And whether it's shoulder, hip, elbow, knee, even wrists or ankles, this live webinar will explain the procedure and how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells.
And Dr. Mark Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. So if you've got joint pain, this is what you want to do. Check in on this free live stem cell webinar Wednesday, September 17th at 6 p.m. to learn about stem cell therapy.
Yeah, that's Wednesday, September 17th, and register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Construction. It was a couple years ago. We were seeking a complete outdoor living space. Molly wanted a new deck. She wanted to really make our outdoor space pop, and boy, am I glad we called PCF. Why? Because whether it's a very specific project or outdoor living, like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you completely covered. You know, Molly's an interior designer. She knows construction. She knows attention to detail. And PCF, they checked every single box along the way. And right now is the time to make the call. Up to $6,000 off your project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. And you can save an extra $1,500 when you bundle your deck with a patio cover. Find all the offer details, get project ideas, and browse photos at pcfgroup.com or simply call today at 425-629-8476. That's 425-629-8476, PCFgroup.com.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
Big Trees is Washington's premier tree sales and transplant company. With over 30 years of experience, Big Trees provides trees of all sizes for residential and commercial projects. Our 30-acre nursery features thousands of trees and hundreds of varieties that thrive in our Pacific Northwest climate. For hours, directions, and to see our wide selection of trees, visit BigTreeSupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
The fall, well, it's a great time to reset your workouts on new stuff, and Top Fitness has some great deals going on right now. Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and you've heard me talk about working out in your home gym. It's the best. From flooring to everything that goes in that gym, like treadmills, ellipticals, and strength training systems, well, Top Fitness provides it all. Top Fitness represents the very best brands available, like Washington's own Precor, yes, the company that created the elliptical, and Inspire Fitness, the leader in strength training machines, along with so many others. Give Top Fitness your room dimensions right now, and you know what? They'll do the rest. They'll do a complete fitness room design. And right now, get 0% interest financing. Mention you heard it from me and receive an additional $100 off any new treadmill or home gym. It's no secret that everyone, from personal trainers to professional athletes, love Top Fitness. Top Fitness has locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit them online at topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Mariners get back to business tonight. They begin their homestand. They got a 3-game series with the Cardinals, a 4-game series with the Los Angeles Angels, before they take to the road and face Kansas City and Houston back-to-back. I'm nervous about that stretch. That's rough.
Those games are consequential.
Oh, they're huge. Very big.
Well,
So-
and I know the Royals there, and I think it was Rowland-Smith. No, maybe it was Charlie. He's like, I don't worry about them too much, and he had some reasons there, but, you know, they're one of those, what are they, 2 back?
2 back, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, and then same thing with the Rangers. I'm kind of like, I don't know. It just seems like that was such a dreadful road trip, especially the sweep by Tampa Bay.
Awful.
And yet you look, and they're kind of in the same position that they were. I mean, obviously you want them to make a move, and I would love to see them get a division title, especially, you know, over the Astros. Would just be fantastic.
Well, right now the Astros are closest.
Yeah.
2.5 games.
Well, and I think if the season ended now, Boston and the Yankees would play each other, and we would go to Houston. I think. Yeah.
Houston. Oh,
so,
goodness. God, I just don't want it. The idea of losing them again in the postseason and doing it on their home field is ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, not that they couldn't beat them. Certainly they can. And Houston looks far from dominant, but
maybe that incident with Framber Valdez more reflects what the culture is there than ever.
I hope it disrupted that clubhouse. I hope. I mean, that was just such a chump move. But you know, look, this got off to a terrible start. Certainly is not. I'm not trying to tell you, hey, great road trip. No, it wasn't. It was awful. Yeah. It was bad. But at least it ended the right way, and it ended in not. You didn't just win. It was 3-1 or 5-3 or. I mean, you went out there and just bludgeoned them. In 2 games, you put up 28 runs in the final 2 games. And again, that is more than the previous 8 games combined. Yeah. 8 games. They scored 27 runs. They put up 28 in 2. So not that I expect that to continue, but it made me feel better. The pitching, to see Castillo bounce back the way that he did.
Yeah.
To see other guys beyond Cal and Julio, who are both rolling right now. Julio on that road trip, 16 runs driven in in those 9 games. 5 home runs, 12 hits, 324 average. Cal has a 6-game hitting streak, 3 home runs in that time, 6 runs driven in the last 6 games. And, seeing the other guys, seeing Randy, seeing Gino with home runs, seeing Robles going out there, that started to make me feel a little bit better that it's not just we're pinning all of our hopes on Cal and Julio to carry the load here, but it is fun to watch them do what they do.
Here's the pitch. Swung on, drilled, center field. Harris racing back. He's looking up. It's into the waterfall. Julio, a 2-run smash when the Mariners needed it the most. Number 30 for Julio. An emphatic 2-run home run into the waterfall. The Mariners have the lead. It is 4-2.
And the beauty of that game was he hit the home run that gave him the lead. They surrendered the lead. The game was tied. Then he hit that home run to give him the lead again. So they were incredibly consequential home runs. And then you fast forward to Sunday. He had 2 doubles in that game on Sunday. Cal Raleigh steps up with a bomb.
Here's the 2-1 pitch, swinging a drive, straight away center field and deep. Harris going back, looking up, goodbye baseball, number 53 for Cal Raleigh. Holy smokes, the magical year continues. Cal with a 3-run home run.
Yeah, I think the one before that, before Julio's home run there, because I love the sound of that crack of the bat.
Yeah.
But the one before that on TV anyway, it sounded like a gunshot. It was just ridiculous. I actually recorded a video. I'm like, this is awesome. I love hearing that. That's one of my favorite sounds in all of sports. That and the cleats on the concrete.
Metal cleats on concrete. Yeah. I love that too. It was a good way to end a terrible road trip, to make, to take some of the sting out of what had preceded that, where you got the pitching, most importantly, because we've been talking about what is wrong with this rotation on the road. The split, the difference in ERA at home versus the road is just a huge gap. And seeing 2 of the guys who had the biggest gaps, Castillo and Gilbert, do what they did. Now, Gilbert, they lost that game, not because of him, though. 6 innings, 1 run. He gave you a chance. You just couldn't get the offense going. That's 3 quality starts in a row for him after he had just one of the worst starts we've seen him have.
Yeah.
So that makes you feel better. Miller, not quite 6. He gave you a 5 1/3, but gives up 2 runs. Pitches well enough, keeps you in the game. And then Castillo, 6 innings, 1 run, no walks, more importantly. So that there were some good things to come out of it and reasons to believe, okay, when they get back on the road after this 7-game homestand, that the pitching hopefully will continue with what we saw here.
Yeah, and all of those things and all the offensive numbers and Julio's 5 home runs and 16 RBIs, all of that. The Castillo performance, I think, is the one that is the most sort of settling. You know? I mean, you
breathe a sigh of relief.
Worry so much about Castillo. Is this the end for him? But the 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 0 walks, 6 strikeouts. I mean, that was a huge sign. Hopefully it's something he can build on. Because he's the Rock, man.
Well, you need him. You need him because, we still don't know what version of Miller you're going to get. He's still working his way back. He's multiple trips to the IL. So you don't know what you're getting out of him. You've had just dreadful starts out of guys you've counted on, and Logan and Kirby. And, so you're kind of left with, I don't know what version we're getting tonight. Really, the only guy that steps on that hill where you feel like I've got a really good idea of what we're getting is Brian Wu, who goes tonight. And even his last 2 starts, he wasn't able to give you the 6. He went 25 starts in a row with at least 6 innings. Last 2, he hasn't been able to reach that. Yeah. Now, he pitched well enough to keep you in games, but he didn't get blown up, but he wasn't as efficient. So you don't have any feelings, at least I don't. I don't have any of those feelings of certainty when the other 4 guys take the hill. I'm like, hoping for the best, fingers crossed. We know they're capable. We've seen it. We've certainly seen it from all these guys, but what version are we going to get? That's still true to an extent, but this performance from these 3 in that series goes a long way to make me feel better. They're not cured. I'm not going to go, all right, don't need to worry about the rotation. They're fine. They're fixed. We'll find out, but it's trending the right way. How about that?
Yeah, good way to put it. I'm going to the game tonight.
Yeah.
I'm really fired up. Get to see Brian Wu.
Have you been to a game this year?
Yeah.
Outside of us working?
Yeah, the one where we worked, and
You went down.
with
They
friends.
won that one. That was
that was
that the JP home run?
JP home run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Walk-off.
maybe you're good luck.
Yes, I think I am.
You're 1-0.
Yeah, but that's going to be, and he's the one guy I think you can count on the most. Brian Wu, he's been very solid. But I love the thing about, there are certain things. I think a lot of times football, like particularly the Super Bowl, is better on TV than it is live.
Yeah.
But going to a baseball game and just watching how quickly that pitch gets from the pitcher's mound to home plate is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I have no idea how people get 3 out of 10 hits. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and Wu's got easy heat. We've seen that. It just his mechanics is just everything's very smooth. So we'll see. I mean, again, his last 2 starts, again, didn't get blown up. The one against San Diego, he goes 5 2/3, gives up 2 runs. So he pitched well. It just wasn't as good as what he had been doing the previous 25. And then the last start, 5 innings, 3 runs, had 3 walks. That was the part that kind of struck me in that 84 pitches in that one. So we'll see how, that's a much easier bounce back than what we'd seen, like Logan after that dreadful start, Castillo after his month of August, which was just awful. So he doesn't have as far to come back. And I've got a lot of faith that he'll do his thing tonight. I'm just wondering, all right, the offense, you put up 28 runs, not holding you to that standard in the last 2 games, but what are you going to do as an encore tonight?
Yeah.
Because you need it. Every game, every one of these means way too much. Meanwhile, what led to Mike Macdonald's decision to kick the field goal late in the game? A lot of controversy about that. We're going to hear about that when we sweep the dial. Coming up with Wyman and Bob, this is Seattle Sports on 710.
The Mike Macdonald Show, the morning after every Seahawks game at 9:30 with Brock and Salk.
Having talked to you after some of these games for the last year, you seem maybe a little more frustrated today.
Of course you're frustrated. We expect to win those games. And I believe we have a really good football team. It's a long season, but there's an urgency to go make it right and to get better. And this is a really critical week for us.
The Mike Macdonald Show. Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app and seattlesports.com.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years, and that type of longevity obviously is a very good thing, except 20 years in the same house, that means a lot of things start to break, and most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams and big listeners at the station, but better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured right here in Washington, designed for Pacific Northwest homes and climate. And that means cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter. And because we celebrate the start of football season around here, I talked with the guys at Harley Exteriors, and they're offering no interest and no payments for an entire year. Also, buy one window and get the second one 40% off. And also, they take another $200 off your entire project. So to get a hold of them, Harley Exteriors, call 833-HARLEY. That's 833-HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine, and you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well, and your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
From the roof to the deck, the siding to the gutters, and energy-efficient windows, State Roofing and Exteriors is your one-stop shop for home protection. With over 55 years serving Western Washington, we don't just work here, we live here. We know what your home is up against when the cold sets in and the rain starts falling. Right now, we're making it easier than ever to get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 24 months. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need. The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
Well, certainly a much-discussed play late in the game yesterday when Mike Macdonald and the Seahawks chose to kick the field goal instead of going for it on 4th and short. And this morning on Brock and Salk, he really went in depth on his decision to kick there.
Well, it was a tough one, and I think the world of Greg. I think he's a phenomenal analyst and does a great job. It was a favor to go for us on our model. But you are making these things in real time. Probably a little bit more so than maybe a full yard, and just call it a full yard from what I could tell. And I felt like if we took the lead right there, we were playing well on defense. It wasn't 4-down territory for them yet to be in. Like, if we kick the ball off to them, it's not 4-down territory for them yet. I think they would still punt it if we got a 3-down stop in minus territory and get into 4-minute mode, which I felt good about that, the way we ran it that drive. And then if they got in plus territory, they're still 3-down mode to kick a field goal, which, what are we, 6 inches away from, being able to go down and kick a field goal with ample time on offense, too. So that was the thinking.
What do you think of that choice? It seems like there's some Monday morning quarterbacking going on. I guess Greg Olson in the moment, according to Lefko, I didn't hear the broadcast, so I didn't hear what he was saying. But he was calling it out then, saying they should go for it. What was your thought at the time?
I thought about it a little bit, but then you're at home and you've got a good defense and your defense is playing well. Yeah, so that made sense, but I did kind of speculate, and I don't know if I did this on the air during the break. I never know what I say when, or I might have told my wife this. I don't know. But, I thought, hey, if you're down at San Francisco and, they're playing well and you're like, okay, we need to pick up a yard, maybe you go for it. Maybe, on the road, it's a little bit tougher. But, I think kicking the field goal, which we have a fantastic field goal kicker, by the way.
You know his name yet?
He makes Jason Myers. I've committed it to memory ever since he made that tackle in the preseason.
Right. He earned your focus.
Yeah. But remember what he told me? That's kind of an old man thing.
Yeah.
Whatever you're talking about there.
You liked him even more.
Yes, I did. But yeah, I think that's the right call right there in that situation. And then the other thing is listening to Mike, like how he arrives at that. Like I think a lot of coaches are like, well, it's a gut call. Well, for him, he's like, well, they have this and that, and they did this, and this. And I guarantee you that it wasn't thought of after the fact. It was before, because Mike has a big old computer brain, kind of like our guy Lefko.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to know who was on the show last July 14th? He can tell you.
Who was it, Lefko?
July 14th. It was the guy that Dave thought was the other guy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'll just say this quickly on that play. In the moment, I was like, are they going to go for it? It fit with the way they were calling the game. Yeah. It's a bit conservative, and I thought the whole game was a bit conservative in the way they called it. And I thought that was more about, hey, these guys haven't developed their rhythm yet as an offense, and you don't really know what they do or don't do well. Can we trust them to gain the yardage needed? No, let's go. Let's take the lead here. To me, it made sense in the moment. I get questioning it, but it seems like it took on extra life after they lost the game.
Sweeping the dial.
Well, we also heard Mike Macdonald a little less than an hour ago give not the best update on Nick Emmanwori, who was injured on the 5th defensive snap of the game. Right after the game, Julian Love explained how losing Emmanwori kind of changed what the Seahawks defense wanted to do.
Yeah, Nick's a great athlete, great player. He's going to be a great player in this league. And yeah, him going down early adjusted some things for us. Light or not, I think we got some good, DBs to stop the run. It's just kind of a matter of, trusting each other and just kind of getting the feel. It's so early in the season. Obviously, it's game one. You just want to get a feel of how each of the plays with next to one another. We got some new pieces, and so I think we'll definitely shore it up. I don't know if it's being light without him out, but we are, anxiously definitely ready for him to come back.
Yeah, that one really bummed me out, Dave, because we've talked about the draft class and who we're excited about, Grace Abel, who he's going to be. But the guy I was most intrigued and excited about was Nick Emmanwori. He was just my guy, the guy that felt like everybody talked about him as a first rounder. He's there in the second round. Seahawks move up to take him. He just seemed like, man, that was lucky. They were able to grab this guy, and he's going to be a presence. And then for him to get hurt that early in his very first game, just dumb luck, bad luck. It's football. Guy fell on Leonard Williams falls on his leg, and there you are. So hopefully it's not more than you were talking about, potentially 3, maybe 4 weeks. Hopefully that's best case, and he lives up to best case.
Yeah, the high ankle sprain, you definitely don't want to hear that. But yes, it's such a shame. And I like that, the 2 picks that they got for trading DK and Gino were packaged together. There's also some talk about them possibly taking him with the number 18 pick instead of Grace Abel. So, yeah, they were lucky to get him. And remember, there was a streak of practices or days where he was getting an interception every day during camp. And, yeah, makes a great play. The way he knifed in there, too. It didn't look like a rookie playing. So, yeah, very, very discouraging there. But, they're getting a lot of good play. Kobe Bryant, that's a guy that's sneaky good.
Yeah.
He made a lot of plays. I think Julian Love kind of falls into that same category. But, yeah, it was just it's pretty interesting that he's like, yeah, there's a lot of things that it really changed the game. We're talking about a rookie. And, the plan that they have for him and how versatile he makes them is where the real value is.
Sweeping the dial.
So the Bills were trailing the Ravens by 15 with about 5 minutes left last night. You could excuse fans who decided to pack it in and leave early, late on a Sunday night. Well, after they came back, Josh Allen jokingly on the field afterwards had a little bit of some grief to give to the Bills fans.
Josh came over and said, what did that mean? There's just no quitting this team. Welcome to Buffalo. I mean, what a vet, kicking the game-winning field goal in a tough, weird situation you don't see too often. He came in prepared, ready to go. Our team didn't quit. I mean, I think there's people that left the stadium. That's okay. We'll be fine, but have some faith next time.
Have some faith next time. Fair enough. He earned the right to say it, man. That was a hell of a comeback. And I was telling you, I think I saw the number, like he threw for like 251 yards in the fourth quarter. I mean, that was a compelling game. That was without caring really who won. Yeah. That was a fun watch.
That really was. Lots of scoring there. It's actually an ex-linebacker's nightmare.
Yeah. Not a lot of
scoring.
Defense going.
Yeah, like those 3-0 games. Lefko, you were saying the Bills had like a 1% chance or something. You know, they do that on ESPN. Yeah. The little chance of winning.
Yeah.
It was like 1 or 2%. So yeah, that's a fun team to watch, and kind of got to know them a little bit watching the Hard Knocks. Yeah,
another great year of Hard Knocks, I thought.
Yeah,
and by the way, Josh Allen comes off as a very likable guy.
Yes,
I don't really care one way or the other about the Bills, but after watching that, I'm like, yeah, I could kind of root for that guy. I'll root for the Bills.
He's much beloved in Buffalo.
Yeah. He's hell of a player, man. Hell of a player. All right. Coming up on Monday after a series win is even better when you're talking with this guy, Jon Morosi. He's going to join us next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
28 runs in their last 2 games.
Home run Gino into the Mariners bullpen. The massive offensive day for the Mariners continue.
The Mariners are back home at T-Mobile Park for the penultimate homestand of the season. And every game matters in the push to the playoffs. Tonight, it's the first of 3 against the Cardinals. First pitch at 6:40, pregame at 5:30 on the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 in the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and if you're like Dave Wyman or myself, and maybe you've just lived hard, you've beaten up your body over the years, and you're looking at surgery for some ailment you've got, put a pause on that. This may interest you. Wednesday, September 17th, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
Hey, this is Dave Wyman, and this live webinar is for people like you and I, Bob, that beat the crap out of ourselves our whole lives. So it's a great education on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
I always say you were smarter, Dave. You got paid to beat up your body. I paid to destroy mine. But, yeah, I had a lot of hip issues going on through, again, over a decade of jiu-jitsu and sparring. Had trashed my hip. Went to the Dr. Wagner. He was very honest about what he could and couldn't do with it, considering I had multiple issues going on. But he did say it will go a long way into helping what you're dealing with now, and it went even further. I mean, I'm almost back to where I was prior to all of these ailments.
Well, and as you mentioned, he's really straight with you. Like for me, he said, "Hey, look, you need a knee replacement. I can't really help you with what you have going on." So I really appreciated that. So, hey, whether it's a shoulder, elbow, hip like Bob had, knee, even wrists and ankles, this live webinar will explain the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells.
And Dr. Mark Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, so he's got experience. He knows his business. And if you've got joint pain, you got something you're dealing with, join his free live stem cell webinar Wednesday, September 17th at 6 p.m. to learn about stem cell therapy.
And you can join Wednesday, September 17th at 6 p.m., as Bob said, by registering at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Switching bath soap from sandalwood to tropical essence? That's glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway near SeaTac. Tolling September 29th. Free Good-to-Go sticker pass at goodtogo509.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here. For my friends at PCF Construction, it was a couple years ago. We were seeking a complete outdoor living space. Molly wanted a new deck. She wanted to really make our outdoor space pop. And boy, am I glad we called PCF. Why? Because whether it's a very specific project or outdoor living, like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you completely covered. You know, Molly's an interior designer. She knows construction. She knows attention to detail. And PCF, they checked every single box along the way. And right now is the time to make the call. Up to $6,000 off your project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. And you can save an extra $1,500 when you bundle your deck with a patio cover. Find all the offer details, get project ideas, and browse photos at pcfgroup.com or simply call today at 425-629-8476. That's 425-629-8476, PCFgroup.com.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer premium windows that are 25% more energy efficient, reduce noise by 50%, and come with clean glass technology. And Leak Armor installation gives you a lifetime warranty to protect your home. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Molly Hatchet is bringing their iconic Southern Rock to the event center at Silver Reef Casino Resort on Saturday, September 27th. Prepare for an unforgettable night of hits like Flirtin' with Disaster and Gator Country. Mark your calendars for Saturday, September 27th. Tickets are on sale now and start at just $30. Don't miss your chance to see Molly Hatchet at Silver Reef Casino Resort. Get your tickets today at silverreefcasino.com.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Mom, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotion. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. Consequently, they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Dial pound 250 and say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, the Mariners feeling better after their final two games on that road trip against the Atlanta Braves, where they put up a combined 28 runs. They look to keep some of that momentum going as the St. Louis Cardinals are in town for a 3-game series, beginning the 7-game homestand here at T-Mobile. They're going to send Brian Wu to the hill tonight. 12-7 on the season with an ERA just a shade above 3. You can catch it all starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Other teams we're keeping an eye on right now, the Royals getting it handed to them in the top of the 5th in Cleveland. Guardians up 8-0 in that game. Meanwhile, top of the 5th, Nationals up on the Marlins 3-1. It's the Phillies up 1-0 on the Mets. Top of the 5th there. The Braves shutting out the Cubs 3-0 in the top of the 4th. Still to come, the Rangers playing hosts to the Milwaukee Brewers. You got the Angels hosting the Twins. Reds and Padres in San Diego. Diamondbacks on the road to take on the Giants. The Red Sox on the road in Sacramento to face the A's. And the Dodgers welcome the Rockies to town.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
I've never heard a person walk out of a stadium and say, wow, I wish that game would have included more weighting.
He is an endless source of baseball and hockey knowledge.
José Berríos, el lanzador de Puerto Rico en el Clásico Mundial de Béisbol.
Jon Morosi, every week with Wyman and Bob.
You're being serious with me right now?
Oh, we're being serious, by God. Here he is, everybody. For those of you watching on the video stream, smiling ear to ear as always. We count on that. We count on the joy that this man brings to the show. He's with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Our buddy Jon Morosi is here. How are you, buddy?
Doing great, my friends. I didn't realize until the segment began, for those watching on the video stream, just how Italian I look right now. I've got my Italian national team soccer jacket on. I've got my Totti jersey behind me. A rather adventurous game, I should add, for the Azzurri today in World Cup qualifying. A 5-4 win in which Italy conceded 2 own goals. That was not in the script, but they still ended up getting the win. We'll discuss the World Cup on the next show, but I wanted just to explain how Italian I was looking on the air. I said, wow, I'm not usually so partisan when we have our conversations.
It's amazing how dialed in you are on so many different sports, whether it's hockey, baseball, Italian soccer. If you were only allowed to watch one sport moving forward, what would it be?
It's a great question. It would still be baseball, just because I have so many connections and so many memories with it, in that when I'm around it, there's, for me, the ability to connect the generational story that I find to be very appealing, that if I have a chance to cover, and let's hope this happens, a Seattle postseason game or a Tigers postseason game, it won't just mean those 9 innings. It's going to mean something beyond that. So I think for my connection to it, baseball is number one, but hockey's pretty close. They're being able to witness the Four Nations face-off in Montreal as a fan was honestly another core sports memory. So I'm blessed to be able to be in the building for a lot of events, and certainly still hopeful that the Mariners will find a way to make postseason baseball possible as well.
Well, that was going to be my first question, JP. So how are you feeling after they put up a ridiculous number of runs, like 28 runs in the last 2 games? And you know, we had a little football to take care of yesterday, but I was looking at the box score and everything, 20 hits in that one. So is that something that you think they can springboard from, that performance?
Well, I think, just as I'm doing the arithmetic, Dave, I believe the Mariners scored more runs than the Lions did points, which was not
same with the Seahawks.
Not what I expected.
Yeah,
same with the Seahawks.
Yeah, not what any of us expected, right?
Yeah.
But I think I'll say this, that when you look at the Mariner lineup, we have talked before about how frustrating they can be at times to watch, and that is not exactly breaking news for Mariner fans listening to us right now. Yeah. And yet, when Julio and Eugenio Suarez are going at the same time, as bereft of offense as they can look when those guys are struggling, when they're clicking, it's like, this team is unbeatable. Yeah. And again, there's just a streaky element to this team. This and the last 2 days are your reward for dealing with all those games when you're throwing your slippers at the TV set during the course of the season. The last 2 days are your reward for that, because that is the positive side of how streaky they can be. You knew coming in that Suarez was a streaky hitter, and sure enough, the last couple days it's clicked in the right way. And I think too, and I give credit to it sounds like the hitting coaches and the staff after the Friday loss maybe got together to listen. Let's find a way to just forget the technical stuff, forget the launch angle and the numbers behind it. Let's just play and have fun. I think Cal had a quote to that effect. I believe it was after the game yesterday. So I do think at some level there's only so much more video you can look at. It's September 8th. If you know how to hit, you know how to hit. And I think little bits of prep are certainly important, but you are who you are once you've gotten to this point of the season and this point of a career. And I think that affirming advice the Mariner hitters got from their coaches was, I think, the right message at the right time.
You know, as dreadful as the road trip was, looking at the numbers for Julio on that, he had a great road trip. 5 home runs. He drove in 16 runs in these 9 games. I mean, he was just on fire. He's been on fire since the All-Star break, which we've become accustomed to, and I think it's why people get so frustrated in the first half, because we've seen how great he can be. And I saw this tweet last night. Players in Major League Baseball history with 110 home runs and 110 stolen bases through their age 24 season: Alex Rodriguez, Mike Trout, Julio Rodriguez. That's it. That's the list in baseball history.
Wow.
It is amazing.
So are we too hard on him, or is it justified seeing He can be this great. He can look like one of the premier players in the game, but the first half of the season through his career has been average at best and sometimes not even average. Sometimes it's so striking how different it is first half, second half with him.
Both things can be true, Bob, in my view. Both things can be true. It can be true that he deserves a little more grace than he's maybe received from a lot of fans during his career. And it's also true that the standard ought to be very high. And I think it's an obvious point, but it bears mentioning here. If Julio's playing like this, like he's played in the second half, and Raleigh keeps playing at his MVP pace, and you look around the rest of the lineup and say, okay, if you get a home run, maybe a home run or two every series from Gino in the playoffs, and you start to project forward, this is the kind of team that can legitimately win a World Series. And I think fans that watch this team know that Cal is so consistent. Obviously, there's still some strikeouts in his game, and his average isn't 300, but he's still consistently who he is.
Right.
And that when Julio clicks in at this brilliant level, because to be honest, tools-wise, he can do things that really no one else on the team can do. When he's really rolling, just the defense, the athleticism, the base stealing, all those types of things, he's just a one-of-one player when he's really going. And lately he's been going. And so that, I think, is it's that tantalizing potential. And it's so rare. And again, he's one of 3 players ever that have done it. At this stage, it's important to keep in mind how young he is. There have been a couple junctures in the season when we've been having these conversations where you look at Nolan McLean has been the big talk of baseball for the Mets. He just made his debut. He's basically the same age as Julio.
Yeah.
And he just debuted in the last 2 months, last 6 weeks, basically. So it's important to have that perspective that he is still a very young player. There's a reason why the Mariners signed him to that deal. That deal still has a really good chance to look like a very smart deal in the fullness of time. And I think that we're now going to get a chance, probably, as long as the Mariners finish this off, to see him now in a second postseason where I think he'll be a little more comfortable. And he's got that Carlos Correa type vibe from him to where Correa said, okay, this is my time. I want to be in the postseason. I think if you give Julio enough chances, he's got an opportunity to have one of those kinds of Octobers. And so I think that in that way, as frustrating as this team can be to watch sometimes, the last couple days were magic. And if Julio keeps playing like this, and to your point, it's not a small sample size. He's been playing like this for a while.
Yeah.
If this sustains itself and Cal keeps being Cal, and I think one of the most important things of the whole weekend was the way that Castillo pitched yesterday.
Yeah.
If he can keep that, he to me is the swing guy in this rotation. If he's good, this team is going to the playoffs. I say that with very high degree of certainty. If he keeps throwing starts out like he did yesterday, they will make it because you're sure enough about what the guy's going to do that's going tonight. And if you add Castillo to that mix and feel really confident about him, it changes everything about what you expect from this rotation.
That makes me very nervous for Castillo's next start.
I'm just telling you what I'm seeing, Dave. That's what I'm seeing. I mean, there's a lot that rides on him. Now, yeah. and to be fair, the other thing that is in play here, and you talk about, I mean, it's tight. It's closer than you would expect or want to be right now. But you do have a 2-game lead over the Rangers in the loss column, and you also have the tiebreaker. So from that perspective, the Mariners would much rather be themselves than be the Rangers right now in terms of the way the standings play. Yes, the Rangers are the hotter team. They've won 7 of 10, but both the standings and the tiebreaker still favor Seattle. So in this topsy-turvy run of theirs, there is still, I think, a lot to feel good about.
Well, and then, some of these games, especially on this road trip, have made you just feel terrible about their chances, but they don't seem to have moved, anywhere.
Right.
I mean, they're still 2.5 games back from the Astros, and I don't know, as bad as it feels, I feel pretty good about that one, especially. And it seems like the other teams that are chasing him in the wild card race are kind of staying the same spot as well. So at least the rest of the baseball world is cooperating. But how likely do you think it is of, what direction do you think the Astros are going in right now?
See, that's a great question. I was there last week. I saw him play in person, and that wild win they had over the Yankees. They are, I think, in a similar way to the Mariners. They see the finish line in front of them, but they're kind of stumbling their way there. It's like it's a matter of, can you keep your feet about you just long enough to cross the line and still be upright when you do it? And I think that's where they're at. Their bullpen obviously is not what it has been. And they've got a pretty tough series to begin this week, obviously, against a fellow contending team in the American League. So, listen, as much as you're right, I mean, I talk about the teams coming up behind the Mariners. The Mariners got a team in front of them that I'm not going to say they're ripe to be passed, but they're vulnerable for sure. And their rotation, I think, is just good enough that I think they'll be able to still secure the top spot. And their lineup has gotten a lot better since Yordan Alvarez has come back. It's just a different team. But the point you made a moment ago about the teams behind the Mariners, and as sort of inconsistent as Seattle has been, it hasn't really cost them yet. You're exactly right, because this is the American League in 2025. Everybody's flawed. And as much as I was getting ready to say, oh, here come the Red Sox and all the excitement there with Chapman and how well he's done in the ninth inning, then they lose Roman Anthony for a while. So it's almost as though every team, it's not even almost, it's the reality, every team has significant flaws in the American League to where it's really anybody's pennant to win, in my view. The Tigers still somehow have the second best record, but I'm looking at it, and since the middle part of July, they've been below 500. And yet they still have the second best record in the league. How is that possible? It's one of those years where there is truly not a dominant team. And the Blue Jays, while they've got the best record, have some fairly significant bullpen worries of their own. A lot of walks they've issued. So for me, guys, it is truly wide open. It is anybody's American League to win this season. And even you look at the National League, the team with the best records, Milwaukee, they've played the best baseball. The Dodgers seem to be struggling just to find a way to close out that division. So it's wide open, and I think that's good for the game. That we have rarely seen a season that I've covered in the 20 years that I've been doing this where I have such a great shrug emoji as to who the favorites are going to be here, and that's a good thing. It's unexpected, and I think that the motto for all of us in October is going to be just to stay up late and watch the dramatics, because no one really seems to have too sure of an idea about their bullpen right now, and some offenses, including Seattle's, that have the capability to come back late on teams.
Hey, how important is Victor Robles to this offense and this team, just being out there in the outfield, the bond he's got with Julio and everybody else? I mean, he's been back. He's played a total of 6 games since returning from injury. Then he got suspended, so he's played 2 games since that. He's got at least 1 hit in 5 of the 6 he's played since coming back. He's got 2 hits yesterday. He had a hit in Saturday's game. These are the first 2 games since he came back from suspension. So he's just kind of quiet. I know Julio and Cal are getting the headlines, but he's a guy who's quietly just kind of chipping in. He's playing that defense. He's coming up with base hits. If he's somebody you look at as he's crucial to it, this lineup, would you want to see him in that leadoff spot when we start getting into the single-digit games and going into the postseason, or would you say, hey, I'm not tinkering with this lineup. I'm leaving Randy where he's at, and I'll leave Victor where he's at?
I'd consider it in the right circumstance. I do think Arozarena, because of his ability to drive in runs, and again, he hasn't always had the best runners in scoring position average in the course of his career, but he is such a threat that I do like the idea of him hitting with men on base. If you could find a way, maybe you hit him in a certain spot. But I also think too that Suarez's at bats and Arozarena's at bats can sometimes feel a little bit similar, right?
Yeah.
In terms of just the power and the right-handed approach, and kind of probably not going to walk, a dangerous bat, but not always the longest plate appearance, right? And so I think if that's the case, you might run yourself into, if they're hitting back-to-back or close to each other, you might run into some 5 or 6 pitch innings, which you do not want. I almost think having a Rosarena where he's at, and then Gino in the middle, and then you've got towards the bottom Robles to kind of flip the lineup over. I've always liked the idea of having a real threat in the 9 spot, someone that you're worried about being potentially a home run threat or just to do damage and wreak havoc on the bases. I wouldn't change it right now. I think he seems comfortable down there. I leave him in the bottom third. If you need to have a different looking lineup against a left-handed starter, I might think about it. But I'm happy with him where he's at right now. And then you think about, depending on the circumstances and which teams you might see in the playoffs, maybe you do something different against a Framber Valdez in Houston, something like that. But I think for now you leave him at the bottom and just let him flip that lineup over, because when he's on base for Arozarena, I think it does create some interesting options there for Dan Wilson.
JP, here's what I love about this is that it's the same reason I love watching managers get run from a game when they get out, like Aaron Boone gets out there and he just becomes like a little kid.
He goes from mild-mannered to very excitable very, very quickly.
But I just think it's so funny, some of the antics that you get. And then, for the Mariners, they had a day off, so some guys shaved in some mustaches, apparently. Yeah. And I don't know. To me, that's just kind of cool, because these are grown men and they're doing something that's kind of silly, but I don't know. It seemed to have worked, and it's just kind of funny to me. I like that. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen? Like something like that. Guys get a day off and they go and do something that is kind of like a rally cry almost.
That's a great question. So I would say, this goes back to the World Baseball Classic, when the entire Puerto Rican national team, in the midst of their run, dyed their hair blonde. Okay. The entire team. And so they became known on the island as Los Rubios, meaning the blondes in Spanish. And so that to me, it was just so surprising.
You showing off with the rolling of the R's.
But you just did not expect, I did not expect that when I got to the ballpark, I'd see Yadier Molina as a blonde. That was not on my bingo card. Or Francisco Lindor, the entire group. So that was probably, in terms of an off day. But remember, we were having this conversation last week on the off day. And I think our advice, we were sort of saying, hey, just get together, watch the football game, chill out, don't worry about it. That was basically our advice. And obviously they said, no, Morosi, your idea is lame. We're gonna have mustaches, which is, I think, as a team bonding thing, I like it, because I think they realized, and in baseball, it's a long year. It's a long year. You've got to find a way, I think, to change it up a little bit. Actually, I'll tell you this too, in terms of a team that turned it all the way around. St. Louis Blues, on the year they won the Stanley Cup 2019, a bunch of their Blues players, they had the worst record in the NHL at the time, and they went to a bar in Philadelphia, and the bar was playing the song "Gloria" by Laura Branigan, and they just said, okay, we like this song. And then it became their song. Ba 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 da da ba da da. That one, that Gloria.
Yeah.
And so not the Van Morrison Gloria, which I made the mistake of singing at a family reunion.
Yeah.
Right. I made the mistake. My cousin at a family reunion said, "Hey, does anybody here know how to sing Gloria by Van Morrison?" I was like, I could do it if you need me to. So against my better judgment, there might be a video, my friends, of me singing Van Morrison's Gloria. I will not be sharing it with you, but it may exist somewhere.
Did you have a mustache at the time?
No mustache. Okay. I maybe at some point I'll grow the playoff beard. How about that?
Perfect. John, we appreciate you, man. Always a fun conversation. Have a great rest of your week, and we look forward to the conversation next week.
All the best. The pennant race is, my friend, a great time of year. Thanks for the conversations. Appreciate it, guys.
JP.
There he is,
Thank
Jon
you.
Morosi, just absolutely one of my favorite people ever. Love that guy.
How do you not smile when you're talking to JP?
He's smiling before we even bring him on. We see him on screen. He's smiling ear to ear. He's such a positive dude.
Well, and Ryan Rowland-Smith is, smiling, but it's for other reasons.
It's devious.
Like he's getting ready to hit somebody with something.
He's like, I got one. I'm ready to nail Bob or Wyman or Lefko with this gem I've got cooked up here. So there you go. There's Jon Morosi. Reaction Mondays are powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The Mariners hosting the Cardinals tonight, and the T-Mobile Park roof will be open, I'm saying. It looks very sunny and nice outside. That's the Mariners Roof Report, brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. So game one, 7-game homestand, 3 against the Cardinals, 4 against the Angels. You got to win both series. I'm not saying you got to sweep the whole thing. That'd be wonderful if you could manage that. I would appreciate it, and so would a lot of Mariner fans. But take 2 or 3 from the Cardinals, take 3 or 4 from the Angels. You got to stack wins, as they like to say, Dave.
That's
stack
what
these wins.
Mike Macdonald likes to say.
Yeah, going into that, because I think you got to be in the best position possible when you go on that 6-game road trip, 3 against Kansas City, 3 against the Astros. That's huge.
They have the ability to have a homestand, much like the one that involved Texas for 4 games, Chicago White Sox, Tampa Bay for 3.
Yep.
They could do it, Bob. They could do it.
Take 5 of 7 at least.
That's all you want. Huh?
5 at least.
You're not going to be greedy.
Well, I think predicting a 7-game sweep on the heels. I know these.
I'm not going to do it.
These 2 games were great. The 2 games were great against the Braves, but the rest of the trip we saw what happened. So you give me 5 of 7, I'll be happy and trust what they're going to do on the road. All right, that does it for us. I want to thank our guests today, Ryan Rowland-Smith, Charles Cross, and Jon Morosi. If you missed any part of today's show, you can find it on the podcast page at seattlesports.com. You got the Mariners, you got the Cardinals coming up next with the pregame show. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here with Wyman and Bob.
28 runs in their last 2 games.
Home run Gino into the Mariners bullpen. The massive offensive day for the Mariners continue.
The Mariners are back home at T-Mobile Park for the penultimate homestand of the season. And every game matters in the push to the playoffs. Tonight, it's the first of 3 against the Cardinals. First pitch at 6:40, pregame at 5:30 on the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 in the Seattle Sports app.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Yay to Bruce, the streaming king.
With quantum fiber internet, he's gonna binge.
He wants more, he's got to have more.
More bedtime to ride.
More podcasts in the shower.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi has the power. More.
Fast internet speed. He's got the geeks to go big. Bring him the games.
Right now.
And his royal we.
More sports non-stop. His quantum fiber's on top. Ready to use.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
This is Mariners Baseball on Seattle Sports.
Take every game with you on the go by downloading the Seattle Sports app.
710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.